Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Genesis does.
With Nintendo don't.
Quallen.
KZ Excellent.
He just ate my hair.
And Mr. Feel.
Nice friends you got there, Daniel.
here on GigaBoots.
Thank you, Mr. Fia. I'm a big fan of my friends. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Big Think Live, the post-summer Games Fest episode.
Yeah.
Oh, we survived.
Yeah, it's mid-June. Video games were shown to us.
I believe the Joker speaks for us, or the Riddler speaks for us all when he says, "Oh, that is not how that was supposed to go."
It really fucking wasn't.
I've been spending a lot of time thinking about it. I don't know about you guys, but I think this might be one of the worst years in the entire history of me watching E3s.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo not showing up really is a debuff.
Yeah, the Nintendo didn't show. Sony did their weird thing.
Yeah, they're like, this is our mini thing. It's not even a full thing. It's better than most everything you'll see next week.
Nintendo's leaking weird stuff.
Yeah.
Square and Dragon's Dogma crawled off to their own tiny directs way later.
Yeah.
God bless them.
It's like it really was the weirdest E3 possible, and probably emblematic of why a major E3 should have occurred.
Yeah, this is really shows everyone what happens without the ESA showing a real show.
Yeah, it helps
Forcing people.
It helps people get schedules straight. I mean, Netflix, for Christ's sake, ran over IGN's expo.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's basically that meme of the guy protecting the kid sleeping in bed from arrows, but that was Poinpy protecting us from the only part of that conference that doesn't get claimed. That's the tiny, like, I love that in my recrop re-render, that one Poinpy segment is all that remains of Netflix. Because everything else got claimed. Thank you, Queen's Gambit. Thank you, everything.
Bitch.
Not covering Netflix Geeked Week gaming next year.
Never again.
Never again.
Never again. Fuck them. They're not real.
This is the last week of my life. I want to do a ton of extra work for VOD's sake.
Yep.
That's those stream days are too long.
Yes.
There's too much going on. I don't need that.
I felt like a broken person by the end, where I'm like, oh, everything's falling apart around me. But there are video games?
Some. I agree with Jeff Gerstmann, who says there are some neat things in the PC gaming show. Don't watch it.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But, you know, before we get more into news exactly, I just wanted to cover how we're feeling, how we're vibing, the place and time and space this is occurring. But we need to talk about what we've been playing. I'm just going to talk about Poinpy. I don't want to talk about Mega Man Xtreme 2 yet.
Fair.
Poinpy, Netflix's homegrown, not really, it's made by the guy who made Downwells, Scrimblow, lovable Scrunko over there, is downwell inversed, so you go up instead of down. Really fun game. Really enjoyed it. Beat that game. Somebody made the joke on Twitter of when's the spoiler cast. So I'm like, good luck getting all four of us to beat that game. That was I hit the last level, and then I think it was 3 or 4 hours for me to just beat that last level. Because
I couldn't even get to the first or the second level.
To talk about it structurally, you know, to get to the second level, you need like gourmet level 5. For anyone listening to this 4 years from now who's like, what the hell's a Poinpy?
Yeah, that's important.
Poinpy is a game where it's on phones and iPads, I suppose. You put your finger on the screen and you pull it to sort of slingshot your character, Poinpy, upward. That is the jumping mechanic you use. The idea is you want to grab all of the fruits that the monster at the bottom of the screen demands in order to feed them. Bob compared it to Critter Crunch, which is both fair and cryptic.
Everyone knows Critter Crunch. You can play it now streaming
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't know what that
PS5.
is.
Yeah, no, that was the part that killed me. Bob made the comparison to Critter Crunch, and 5 days later, we see that's streamable on PS4 and 5 using the new
can
PlayStation Plus tier.
You can also buy it on Steam.
Oh, wow.
That's good. I'm glad it's on something that isn't the PS3/streaming.
Yeah.
Poinpy's pretty good, but here's the structure, and the structure is the problem. You have to get to Gourmet level 5, which means mad combos to get to the next level. To get to the new biome after that, you get to 10, and then 15, and then 20. And you have to hit these heights in order to make it back to these places.
Uh-huh.
So by the time you get to unlocking the last level, you never go straight to it. You have to combo your way to Gourmet level 20 to reattempt the last level of this game.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It's like a roguelike without any sort of like hoops to jump through to skip content.
Yes. And it gets really weird because the scoring system of Poinpy isn't based on how many fruit did you get total. It is based on how many more fruit than what was necessary did you get. Meaning the best thing you can do, and I'm not exaggerating, is get a 54 plus fruit combo right out of the gate.
Oh my god.
And that will shoot your ass directly to the last level.
It's a lot of fruit.
So imagine 3 or 4 hours of you trying to do that combo in order to get back to attempt to play the end of Poinpy. So that was grueling. That ending's really good, though. It's a shame no one but me is going to see it. Really great stuff. It picked up on vibes I had immediately playing that game that I wasn't sure they were going to touch on. And there's more production value than you would expect. In fact, if you watch Netflix Geeked Week gaming, you wouldn't even know that they made a cinematic trailer for Poinpy. They didn't show it there. Devolver put it up on their own YouTube channel, and I found it after beating the game.
It's crazy.
So it came even more so out of nowhere for me to see the ending, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, Poinpy's really good. Puzzle mode, I had fun with it until I hit a brick wall, and then I said, I'm good. And then there's some cool end game stuff that you get for beating the game that allows you to leave ranks, basically. Like, set scores. Challenge yourself and possibly others.
If anyone else has a Netflix account they hook up to their phone to play Poinpy.
Yeah. It's been really sad watching all these people come out and be like, yeah, this looks great. Oh, you need a Netflix account. And I'm like, yeah, this is like a box within a box within a box. Do you want to play a game on your phone? That's a box. Do you have these platforms and a means to play them reasonably, like a newer-ish phone, not something completely ancient? Oh, do you also have a Netflix account? So it's a real shame because that game was neat. I hope it's not permanent exclusive.
Right.
I hope it eventually escapes. I enjoyed Poinpy, but it took me the entirety of playing that game to realize when he dies, he doesn't become a Tonberry head. He's falling into the background, and the thing you think are his eyes are his yellow shoes turned on their side.
Yeah, that's probably for dying is just not good.
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
so unclear what it is.
Yeah, it was a real moment. Aside from that, that's all the Poinpy talk. Oh god, how do we summarize Mega Man Xtreme 2?
Do you think Poinpy's getting a movie?
I hope Poinpy's getting a movie. If you see that ending, you probably will want some animated material based on Poinpy.
But for Mega Man Xtreme 2,
Yeah, how do you summarize that?
that's a game that's actually only 2 hours, but then it asks you to play it 3 times in a row to get one extra scene at the end.
Yeah.
So don't play that game.
How do you summarize? Don't. Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. There's Digital Souls. It's got all that Indie Crates writing, even though it's not them.
It's internal
allegedly.
Capcom, just like X5 and X6, Bob.
Yep.
Yeah, Mega Man Xtreme 2 on the Game Boy Color, for people who don't know, is a combination of Mega Man X2 and X3. and like 2 X1 Mavericks for some reason. Launch Octopus is like, hey guys, I missed the boss.
Yeah.
I didn't get into Extreme 1, so I'm here at Extreme 2.
I got an Uber.
Oh yeah,
It plays worse than the first game.
What?
Yeah. We thought it would be better because, in many ways, production values wise, and at a surface level, it is better. But then you actually engage with it and play it, and you're like, oh, this is somehow way worse.
Yeah, you no longer have a dedicated dash button like you did in the last game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that and a number of other problems. I think the funniest thing to come out of it as an anecdote is you go through a level and it's blatantly, you select a Neon Tiger. And then you go through what is blatantly Sting Chameleon's level from X1. And then you get to Neon Tiger and he's the worst, ugliest sprite I've ever seen in a Mega Man game.
He also can hardly fight back.
Yeah, his AI is just broken levels of I can't function. So I am of the opinion they really tried to make Sting Chameleon. Someone went, wait, how do we turn him invisible? And then everyone panicked and then just drew the ugliest version of Neon Tiger possible. And then just went, he's the boss. And his pattern is like the other game, but for babies. So he now just jumps up to the corner and spends a while over there and then slowly falls down like a ninja on a kite situation as he comes at you, and he's really easy to dodge. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's...
But they need to stop, like, those games, Extreme 1 and Extreme 2, they should not have had the structure where it's like, play through these 4 Mavericks as Mega Man. Now beat the final castle. Now fight the other 4 Mavericks as Zero. Now fight the final castle. Now do all 8 and then fight the final. Like, no one wants to do that.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought that anyone would.
Also, there's some really weird lore stuff in that with DNA souls and other stuff, which is, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
NT.
Who cares?
It's NT stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I forgot where we're at.
Yeah. But that's it. I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Okay, fair.
I played hours of Resident Evil 2
You did that.
because I want to scope out the PS5 version before our stream on Friday. I just wanted to look at it. And it's, the point of variable refresh rate is to smooth out your frame rate. And while that's really, it's trying its best on Resident Evil 2 on PS5 running in ray tracing mode. That might be a job for the Series X.
that game apparently cannot be ray traced. It's too powerful.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yep.
That's really sad though, because Alex Battaglia and John Lindman from Digital Foundry agree. The RE engine's amazing, but the worst thing about it that is just abnormally terrible looking is the screen space reflections. So like walls that are glossy and other things just look absolutely terrible for some reason, beyond all comprehension. So ray tracing can fix that, but now on the PS5 it's running at like 52 frames per second and dipping too low for the PS5's VRR to fix, because the lowest that can go is 48.
Right.
Meanwhile, and obviously, I do own the Xbox One X version, so I could just check that out on the Series X.
You can see how that goes.
Which that's been a funny part of this. we've owned RE2 since launch. But since that was the Xbox version, because we wanted the 4K, the PS5 version I have is like, here are your extra trophies you get for transferring over 1. I was like, I only earned 1 trophy in the PS5 version or PS4 version. Crap.
It's funny. Like, ray tracing seems so bad on any game that isn't made by Insomniac.
Like, for performance.
Yes. It's like basically makes it unplayable.
Yeah, luckily this fared better than a lot of stuff, but it's still like, am I really going to give up? This game can run at like 100 frames a second in the high frame rate mode, right? Or lock 60 and look pretty sharp, not amazingly sharp, but pretty sharp in the normal mode. Why would I give those up to run at like 50 or lower frames per second in ray tracing?
Yeah.
It looks neat. It does. I did it for a little bit, but in general, I'm definitely just going to play in other modes. That game's really great. I love Resident Evil 2 a lot. It is funny as hell that we beat Leon A and then didn't do any of the other 3 playthroughs, despite my most beaten video game of all time is the original Resident Evil 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's funny.
either that or Mega Man X2. Because
Yeah.
I just kept rerunning all the different routes. And on PC, because I had the original PC version, I got it in a box and everything. You don't have to watch the doors at all. You just hit enter and you're loaded. And I'm like, man, this saves a lot of fucking time. So I'm really excited for tomorrow when we get to check out all 4 stories in RE2. Because conversely, we've beaten RE3 6 or so times.
Yes.
At least.
Yeah.
I think it was 7, but I like that stream where we just did it 3 times in a single stream was lost to time. I love 3. 3 is really great. I love a lot of stuff about 3, and I love 2, but weirdly enough, just never carved out time to just stream all of the endings. So
Right.
I'm really excited to get to that. Only closing comment here before I move on. The HDR in RE2 hit me in the face again with, oh, right, this looks like shit. And I forgot, and I wasn't sure, because you got to keep in mind this was really early for HDR. So they do a really weird mistake, which is magnified and made worse on OLED in a sense, where there's no, like, in most environments, there's no pure black level. There's nowhere near pure black. It's like, let's say 80 nits up is the darkest it'll get. So the overall brightness of your screen is dimmed by that because it's wasting it all on gray and all these other things. It's the weirdest, worst HDR implementation I've dealt with since I played it originally when it came out. So that was weird because RE3, as I remember it, looked great in HDR. Like the flames and stuff and all these different elements about it look really contrasty and super awesome. So it was really weird to do that. I go to sleep, I wake up, I check the GigaBoots fan Discord. First thing I read is Advent comment being like, yeah, the HDR on this game is bad. And I'm like, glad I'm not the only one thinking about this going back to this game. Yeah, aside from that, I'm so glad they gave us these free upgrades. Because I would have bought it for RE3, and then I would have sat there and been like, well, it would be absurd to not have the PS5 version of RE2. So luckily we got that for free. Thank you, Capcom, for being sane.
Yeah, it would have been crazy if they're like, give us another $70.
70. Guys, that's how. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. RE3 is now $1 a minute. $70, 70 minutes. Oh boy. But yeah, that's it for RE2. That's it for Mega Man Xtreme 2. That's it for Poinpy. And I think because of my fun escapades in Adobeville, that's all I've played in the last week.
We also streamed Ape Escape.
Oh, that's right.
God, it wasn't April. I know, it's confusing.
I wanted to do it again. Like, there was a little bit of downtime. Like, I had a legitimate day off this week.
Uh-huh.
And I was just sitting there, I should just play it again. Yeah, KZ.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if every game on the emulation's like this. I think Feel was saying it was. If you hit directly right on the analog stick, it overflows into not being the full extent. So in Ape Escape, you just start walking instead of running.
I did hear about that from other crackheads getting in on Ape Escape this week.
Yeah, that is a I assume that's just an emulation issue because that is a very common issue with emulators trying to run like analog stick stuff on PS1 and PS2. It's just like, no, you pushed it too far unless you fix it in the settings.
That's so absurd.
Yeah, that it launched, like, this isn't even the first launch. It launched in other territories already.
Yeah.
How is this still an issue?
Sony making an emulator of Sony's console on Sony's controller on their console.
It's hard.
Somehow calibrated it wrong?
I don't know.
Go fuck yourself. That's absurd.
Also, we booted up Echo Chrome and found out that PSP emulation is the saddest thing possible.
I still want to hold out for if it's a game that looks normal.
Uh-huh.
Because Echo Chrome's PSP version was always pretty banged up.
Yeah.
But we don't have any other PSP games, which is nuts.
Yeah, but we don't have any of those features that the Vita emulator have, like, okay,
remap the right analog stick,
all that stuff. It's like, that should have been in just the emulator in general.
Yeah, I mean, just from the way Echo Chrome looks and that alone kind of makes it like, okay, we probably will just use PlayStation TV to play the PSP games because this is not good enough.
No.
We'll see when something else comes out. Maybe it'll be better. Maybe we can, hit Sony in the shins with a bat long enough for them to be like, oh, we should fix our shit.
Hopefully.
I mean, whether or not they fix it, I accidentally sort of didn't have a choice because you can't sign up for a little. You're either all in or all out. I have a year and a half of this shit. I have like 500 plus days, which isn't as much as I bought with Game Pass.
No.
But I still just wanted to do a little and then get out. Yeah, it's I enjoyed playing Jumping Flash and Ape Escape. I thought those were good ways to play that outside of that analog stick problem on Ape Escape. I enjoyed Tekken 2. I'm really glad they built in the rewind feature. All the scaling features are made by people who watched a My Life in Gaming video while high as shit and didn't take any notes. They just, when they went to go make the scaling options, they just tried to remember what the fuck they did.
Yeah.
I remember something about 1:1 and pixel perfect, native resolution, and then they just put it all in there, and none of it's even remotely right.
They want all the pixels to be in a box of some sort. I don't know what that means.
They said they wanted square pixels, so we'll mash the entire image into a square. And it's like, okay, dumbass. When someone says they like loaves of bread that are square slices, you don't then take the entire loaf and squeeze it into a cube and go, eat your bread cube.
And then Orihime starts eating it.
Yes. No, she's done. She's just, the whole thing's in. Because now it's more compact. It doesn't have to sit coming out of the front of her face anymore.
No.
It'll be very easy to digest that brick.
But yeah, I think it's neat. They need to fix some problems. I thought Intelligent Cube was great. I think this is, assuming they fix these slight issues of like, why in God's name would I want a cube? Like, why would I want the square image output? And maybe make better scan lines. I don't know. I don't actually care on the scan line thing. It's just not for me. I think this is a viable way for people to play these games.
Yeah,
I think it's really solid.
Those things look really clean, which is neat.
Yeah, because for people who don't know, it's rendering the games at like 1440p. So you're getting like a really high-res sampling of this game with fixed point 3D processing. You can't, to simplify it, guys, the PS1 cannot have sub-pixel 3D processing. So if you can imagine, what you're seeing is a 1440p crisp sample of a thing where every 3D object you're seeing has to fit in a grid that is the exact resolution of the original PS1. So you just see people's faces melting and like they're jittering in a weird way. An ape from Ape Escape's eye was like demented. It was cool. I have no problem with that. I disagree with John Linneman on this. I kind of think that's a cool way to play these. I don't think they're ever going to find a way to make it the original resolution like some people seemingly want.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, just give me a hard 240p and then upscale it from there. Don't render it in higher res. Like, I'm fine with it the way it is. But they do need to fix those things. And I don't care if it's already out. Give me trophies for Jumping Flash. Because I need something. I beat that game and it turns out that game's like Ghosts and Goblins. I beat that game and it said do it again. And I'm like, fuck you. You gotta be fucking kidding. Also, as this launched in the US territory, you couldn't buy every game.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Tekken 2 is subscription only, and so were a couple other third-party games. And that was infuriating. I made a risky bet, though, during the summer gaming. I said if they didn't release Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 PS5 remakes, we would have changed our Friday stream to us getting a platinum and siphon filter.
Woo!
Luckily, that shot was called pretty well.
Right.
If they delayed that by even 1 day, we would have been screwed because of the phrasing of the bet.
Yes.
I have a friend now who's like, I like Siphon Filter. And I'm like, I don't remember you saying that once. That's crazy. I didn't know.
Yeah. That was
I
a
had no
surprise.
idea.
I was like, how did this not
They're-
come up at all?
I don't know.
It's been
They're a
20
sleeper
years.
agent, Jim. Right? Somebody says siphon filter, and then they wake up covered in a politician's blood.
So I'm sitting here, and this is a good segue. I'm figuring out the tournaments because in order to offer people the ability to vote, they need to know what they're voting on. We don't want someone to vote for these months, these theme months that they earn through the stream goal.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want them to vote for like Sonic Month, and we're like, yeah, we're just playing the Justice games, and then they're like, what? We want to be very upfront about what we're doing. So I'm going through and I'm making game lists of everything, and then I also have to make the demon pits, as we call them. The demon pits are we opened a submission form for people to send in the worst games they want to see us play. And that's on there. So Magus for PS3.
What? What the fuck is that?
It's amazing. Thor High Heels has a video on it.
Oh, damn it.
God.
It's doomed. It's so doomed.
The part
Oh,
that
God.
absolutely floored me is that came out in 2014. I thought that shit was a 2009 game.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something that came out 1 year in.
Right. That's what it looks like.
It certainly looks like something that came out 1 year in.
So there's a lot of stuff like that. Randomly assembled into, 8 different demon pits?
Yeah.
So do I have the right mental image here where I'm picturing like Devil May Cry 4 where the thing appears underneath Nero and like sucks him into a combat room in a couple levels? Like is that what the demon pits are? Am I picturing it right?
That's basically, yeah, you vote for that and then we get sucked into hell. That's just how it be.
The
Yeah,
Floor
I
Master
really-
grabs us and we're stuck.
Yep. You're trying to get across that part in the world map of Mario 3 and it just won't let you.
Yes, it's just the hand. Let me read a different demon pit because we tweeted one, but I thought it would be interesting
Get an
to
exclusive.
to read at least one more so people can begin to imagine.
There are 8 of these, right?
There are 8 of these.
8 of these nightmares.
let me see. This one's pretty good. Remember, these are randomly assembled. I just put them in a giant thing and then randomly culled and selected each of them. So, Demon Pit 6 currently has Golden Axe Beast Rider, Sudeki, Spider-Man 3 on PS3, Gundam Crossfire, Ride to Hell Retribution, and Red Steel.
That's wrong.
It's this really funny competition between these cogent months, which we call the hero question mark side of like, hey, when you like to see us play Sonic or Zelda, maybe some Mario, and then this demon side where there's that and Demon Pit 1 with Dino Crisis 3, Alone in the Dark, Dead Rising 4, Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard, Bubsy 3D, and Vampire Raid.
Yeah, that got me too when I read that and saw Eat Lead. I'm like, no fucking way you remembered and wrote it down.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Absolutely heinous though.
Evil and agnostic months.
You realize that Matt Hazard is voiced by Will Arnett, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm gonna be holding on to that like it's a fucking life protector. Like, imagine him in this room recording this, being like, "This is just all the work I'm gonna get after Arrested Development." I'm not going to read the full list, but I will say games such as Zombie U, X Blades, and Penny Arcade RPG 1 are in various demon pits.
Oh, man.
There's some
God,
real fucking nightmares in here.
X-Blade is a nightmare. That's so bad. I'm like, no, Stan, switch it for anything else.
Yeah, it's dire. But
You're
we know.
deep into shit.
And the one joke submission where it's like, damn, that doesn't sound too bad. You do that all the time is Mighty Number 9 on the Wii U. But the reason people what they're missing is that's the version that can brick the Wii U. So
And
you
they're
know,
like, we got to do the poll again. This month got ruined.
no, if it breaks the Wii U, we did it.
Yes, that was the achievement.
I'm sure that Dan will have like in parentheses like meltdown % or something.
God, so maybe we'll make it through and it'll be fine, but I genuinely don't know because it bricked so many systems. And people allege the patch might have fixed it, but let's be real, who checked?
Yeah, who really knows?
I just assumed you play unpatched.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's already patched. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Bob wouldn't want to lose his save file on all of his great Wii U titles.
I'll go back to those ever. It's totally not just there for the sake of.
Name some.
Can't. I don't even have Xenoblade X.
Yeah, I know. That would be the one that mattered.
Right.
The next closest one is, I guess, Smash. Because it's Smash 4.
Yeah, Smash 4. But
And that's got different stuff than Smash.
It's got trophies.
Yeah, it's got. Yeah. Wait, does Smash Ultimate not have trophies?
No, they replaced it with spirits because making all the models was too
Right.
hard.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot. I totally forgot that.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
It's also got like that Master Core fight and stuff in classic mode.
Yeah, and it's got that quirky board game.
God, was
It
that
does.
exclusive? Jeez. What a bad board game.
Yeah, I know. The 3DS version got the Smash Run thing where you collect shit in levels and then fight. And this,
Yes.
it's the worst Mario Party thing since, I don't know, the Dreamcast Sonic one.
Yeah, that's accurate. But yeah, so those months are really dangerous. Also, so I don't miss it before we toss it over to Bob. Tekken 2 was listed accidentally for $10,000, and Harada was like, "What a marvelous price!"
Finally, he's getting true to us.
Am I finally getting through to you?
It's like, this is how we will afford rollback.
Yes. Speaking of which, that JoJo's game came out. Totally doesn't have rollback. People are fucking pissed.
Yeah, it's just the early release demo version. But yeah, no, they even released a statement being like, "Yeah, we're not putting rollback in this. Are you stupid?"
Yeah, they're like, I'm sorry. Official press release. I'm sorry you don't have friends is the opening line.
What a cool single player game they're putting out there.
Yeah.
Now, realistically, Harada is not so upset at people asking for rollback in Tekken that he's just walking around Namco taking it out of other games.
No, of course
But it's
not.
funny, so I'm going to say that's the case.
Yes. that will be the stance until they put out something with rollback in it.
But yeah, that's basically it. Also, I've been asked to bring up the modern filter for the PS1 emulation, which just kind of crushes the brightness.
Right.
Like the gamma, it shoves it down, which kinda is how that does look on a CRT, but
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to do that on an OLED or a modern display. We don't need to press those brightness levels. I like how it looks elsewise. But aside from that, that's really all I've come here to talk about. Goodbye. Bob.
Yeah. What's up?
I heard you might have played some games.
Yeah, the Steam Next Fest happened, and also before that, they released a ton of demos over the weekend before Steam Next Fest even happened. So
what isn't it? The PC gaming show or someone else also did their own demo thing.
a bunch of them from the Wholesome Direct and stuff also got demos, and they posted them early.
Now, Now, Bob.
Yeah, what's up?
How many games would you estimate you've played for this segment?
It's a lot.
Okay.
Bob,
Probably like 10. Probably
Bob,
maybe
I
more.
will allow you 90 minutes.
An hour and a half. This is Bob's feature film.
This 5-hour big thing is going to really hit.
I'm going to try and go through them somewhat quickly, but I want to make it clear, I do this because I like doing this. Isn't some weird obligation that I have to do and that
But
I
it
hate
is
all
funny.
the games I play or anything.
Oh, yeah, no. As it turns out, you like games.
Yes.
Not just the biggest games.
Right, and this is a great chance. I hate Steam Next Fest not because of the way I have to cover it, but because it doesn't actually give these guys a spotlight.
Well,
it hides
because
them.
Well, because like they only get so many days for their demo to stay out there.
Yeah, the demo stays up for just a couple days. It's in the middle of one of the biggest press events of the year.
Right.
So all the big people are actually busy covering that, not covering these. Like if these came out, I'm sure more big sites would cover them.
Right. And that's a huge problem. That's a
Yeah.
huge problem for me. That's why I've never touched a Steam Next Fest demo.
Yeah.
Because it's always during Nightmare Week.
Right. Like Steam Next Fest should be 4 times a year and separates from all other gaming events. Because
That'd be
they're
smart.
big enough for that. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know maybe one YouTuber that covers Steam Next Fest. And that's the only other person besides Bob on the internet.
Yeah, that makes
that I know
sense.
of.
That makes sense. A lot of people, like, when you look at people who cover smaller stuff, it doesn't really pay out for them,
Yeah.
you know? And that's really unfortunate. But, you know, whatever, you all can manage one episode of Big Think to hear about games. Besides, Bob took pictures.
I did. I got pictures of all of these games for you. And you got
Nice.
to look at them on the stream.
Yes, we can even take this full screen.
And
Hello.
this is in order. This is just straight up in order of how I played them. There's no narrative here. Don't try and build anything else.
And so you have a stream of consciousness.
Yes.
Maybe next
now-
time.
Now, I actually don't know the answer to this, so I'm asking, Bob.
Yeah.
Is this because somehow you played Symphony of War first?
No.
You're like, oh, this has
I think that's actually out.
It is. I was like, maybe it has a demo, and Bob's like, I need to check out the assets.
Yum.
Yeah, I don't know if it got a demo. I didn't. I
It
just
is
saw
out.
that it was out, so
Yeah.
I didn't look for a demo of it,
Yeah.
which I maybe should have because it is an interesting looking game with some assets.
Hey, you guys ever like lose your mouse on a computer and you're like, where's my mouse? If you shake it, it gets huge on a Mac. That's the funniest shit in the world to me.
I feel bad that I like that.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Because I have
Yeah.
that issue inside of different RTSs and MOBAs all the time. So I
Yeah.
just have, like, when I play a MOBA, I set the mouse cursor to as big as it goes.
Oh, okay. I think Windows technically has this feature, or at
Okay.
least did back in 2000 or Emmy.
Cool.
I'm not positive. Maybe. So, Bob, where are we starting? And you let me know when to pull up the images.
We are starting at the tarnishing of Juxtaila. It's Juxtila.
All right.
Juxtaila?
Juxtaila. I don't
I'm just
know.
going to say that to make fun of it, but
Bless you.
okay.
So this is a Souls-like 2D game.
God damn it, Tarnish. Should have fucking
I know.
known.
It's literally this is about the tarnishing of this kingdom. It's like, oh my god, this is a little too direct, guys. And
Go
the
to
wor-
jail.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part is the studio name is called Actual Nerds. Almost seemingly like
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, gatekeeping.
We here at Gatekeepsoft think you're not good enough for our game.
Arise now, ye tarnished.
So it has analog stick only movement, even though it's a fully 2D game, which
Okay.
always sucks.
You have to have some really strong gameplay reasons for that, in my opinion,
Yes.
if you're going to do that. Like,
The-
because some games actually use the analog movement, and it's pretty essential.
Yes.
Like weirdly enough, Smash.
In Metroid Dread.
Right.
And there are a few on here that do that, and I will call that out when we get to it. But this
Okay.
one does not. This actually just makes it harder because it's like I need to do precision dodging. It's moving left and right, and that means I don't have the same amount of time. I need to get all analog stick all the way one side to the other.
Okay.
So the things that make it different than a regular Souls game is you have this weird overcharge system where if you hit enemies enough, you start glowing and you have like infinite stamina for a second. It's strange. It honestly doesn't feel that bad. It has some of the intentional Dark Souls feel of, oh man, input delay happens.
Okay.
But it was still pretty playable. I kind of enjoyed this. The first picture now.
Okay.
This giant lady shows up to tell you what to do next.
Okay.
She's guiding you through it.
I like her head horns. They're very Seven.
Yes, they're very neat. So that if you're into Souls likes, I think you should give this a try. And the best part of doing this live, I can tell you can go play that still.
Yeah.
Instead
There's
of it
still
goes
a
up
chance.
next week.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's like I'm talking about things that don't exist.
Bob's bragging about his time exclusive.
Yeah, no more 3-day gaps.
Yeah.
Next thing I played, Signalis. That's Signalis. Signalis.
Yeah, it's just Signal IS.
Yeah, Signal IS.
Signalis. Yeah.
So this is a PS1 style survival horror game. It's got a really cool art style. You can show the first picture there. It cuts to this sort of thing for cutscenes.
Okay.
It looks really nice. It mixes 2D and 3D in the actual environments. It's you play as like a cyborg / robot. I'm not sure which. Exploring a crashed spaceship on some unknown planet. If you show the next picture, also shows like what regular gameplay looks like.
Okay.
And that is it's got some very clear Silent Hill 4 moments of crawl and hole.
Yeah, that's what you need.
But yeah, you get a lot of cool just menus and stuff. It's the only problem I had with it was sometimes they'll put borders to levels on literally the edge of a screen, so it's hard to tell where the actual exit to a screen is.
Okay.
But other than that, it's really cool.
Yeah, I remember thinking it was really neat seeing someone do 2D backgrounds, 3D characters, or seemingly with the survival horror PS1 style.
Yeah, it seems like it varies a lot. It even goes into first person mode frequently to do stuff like, okay, I'm looking at this desk. I need to. Then you have a cursor to move around and pick stuff off the desk.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's genuinely like one of the coolest survival horror games I've seen in a long time, especially indie side. Like,
Yeah, that was
crazy.
That was one of the things that I thought was one of the best things of like Summer Game Fest. Like it just looked really cool, and I was excited that someone was trying that.
Yeah. Next thing I played, Metal Hellsinger.
Okay, I'll pull up the image for that.
I didn't even take a picture of this one because everybody knows what Metal Hellsinger is. It's too big to
Just
fail.
Google Troy Baker.
Okay, I'm worried about what the predict will show up for this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're good. Just Troy Baker Joker.
from Arkham Origins.
There you go. There's Metal Hellsinger himself.
There you go.
There he
Metal
is.
Hellsinger.
So first level, you find his skull, Troy Baker's, and he narrates everything.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was joking. Fuck.
Oh, no. That's
I
why he
forgot.
came out and said we're going to have the cure for COVID with Metal Hellsinger.
It actually looks pretty nice. Like this is a pretty good looking like horror aesthetic to a Doom-like game. So you play as like this demon lady. You shoot things with your flaming skull that is Troy Baker.
What's the problem?
It's hard to look at all these pictures, Troy Baker.
I don't know.
It's really good.
Is he
I like that one further down. It's killing me.
He narrates it in a way that's almost sounds like him and the demon lady are in love, but not quite. It's interesting.
Oh, one moment. We're going with this one.
Oh my god.
We're going with Shadow of Mordor.
That's like when we watch Bleach the movie.
Oh god, is he Shadow of Mordorman?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Of
Oh,
course
he is?
That's what it's saying.
Um
God, I'm so glad we're in video now.
So the whole idea was this: is you time you're shooting and you're dashing and stuff to dodge things with the rhythm of the song.
Mm-hmm.
You get a multiplier. The higher you get the multiplier up, the more lyrics and other parts of the song kick in.
Nice.
It's really cool. I think they did a great job. I cannot play this. It's impossible for me. I'm sorry.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Bob?
I have no rhythm. Period.
Yeah.
None at all.
This is true facts.
Yeah.
This is Bob when he tries to play it. Why?
It's Doomsday, Dan.
All right. Time for the next one.
Okay.
No more
All
Troy
right.
Baker, please.
We'll see.
Advent Neon.
Really? That's the name?
Yeah, that's the name.
All right.
This is clearly like Sonic inspired.
Couldn't even tell.
And it doesn't feel quite the way you would expect. Momentum isn't there as much as it is just you're going really fast all the time.
Okay. So can you stop on a dime?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. All right.
You get a dodge that gets you witch time.
Mm-hmm.
There's combat rooms, a lot of them. It's weird. I think it's kind of neat, but I don't really recommend it. Next game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Beyond Sunset. This is a boomer shooter.
Couldn't even tell.
Has glory kills from Doom. So you can literally like hit the E button once they start glowing, and then you can kill them in one hit and give them health back.
Good.
The HUD on the bottom left really does look like the Doom HUD, but pixelated. I like that.
Yeah.
You have a katana for all these glory kills, and you can use it normally too. The animations for it are all bad. This game feels pretty bad in general.
Oh, damn.
It literally has massive hitches every time it has to save.
Well, keep in mind, Bob is playing on a puny 8700K Intel processor and 1060. This is clearly... Bob, you should have gotten a Threadripper.
That's what I needed for this.
Uh-huh. I'm looking at it. That definitely hurts.
Yeah, definitely. The art's kind of just bad in a lot of ways. This is not up to standards for what I consider an indie boomer shooter should be. Next game I played, Midnight Fight Express. This is that game we heard about at one of the shows where it's made by one guy.
Yes,
that one.
the dad.
The dad.
And I was like, plot twist, he's a dog dad.
Yes. But it's like a top-down beat-em-up. It doesn't feel that great, and it doesn't feel like there's much move variety, but there is a skill tree, so possibly you get more skills.
Uh-huh.
But right now it's all about counterattacking and doing a really basic like 3-hit combo. The character models all look bad, which
because it's like an isometric but fully 3D game,
right?
How does the mouse and stuff work into that? Did you use a controller?
The controller doesn't feel right, so I used the mouse, and that doesn't quite feel right either. You literally aim that cursor on screen is my mouse cursor. I point it towards where I want to punch.
Okay, all right.
I don't really recommend it, unfortunately. I think the backgrounds are neat, and I think that the story was maybe going to be okay, just some typical gangster stuff.
Okay.
Next game. Puzzles of Clef.
Could you spell Clef?
CLEF.
Okay, that's like Clefairy.
This is a puzzle platformer that runs terribly. It doesn't have controller support yet.
You guys need to understand the gravity of runs terribly here is so far beyond what you would assume.
Yeah, no, it'll be running at 60, then a second character will show up on screen and it dropped to 30.
If not 20,
yes,
and I'm just watching it run in slow motion, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Nice hat.
Yeah,
it's very cute.
Yeah, I think the character design's pretty good here. They shouldn't have released this demo yet. Clearly wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Also, I chose this exact screenshot. If you'll zoom that down, guess where the platforms are on this tree?
Fuck you. No, I won't. I assume the lights?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very hard to see them against the white leaves. And also, they set it up so you have to jump very particularly. Like, there's only one pass through this tree because your jump is so exact.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell. I could totally see you jumping and like going through the edges of the string that the lights are on.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I assume on this type of thing.
It makes me feel of an old PC game platformer in some ways. Like it's especially where I have to use a keyboard. Like, what are you doing?
Bob, I'm a broken man. You say old PC platformer. I'm like, oh, like a Zargon, which for you people who aren't as cool as me, oh, like Jill of the Jungle.
There we go.
Does the bunny shoot out a weird dagger and it goes wham?
No, this is actually all about puzzle solving. So later on there's a different. He was really just mostly doing simple platforming, not fighting any enemies and collecting items. But there were a few things where it's like, okay, try and ring these bells in a specific sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this could be neat, but it's really way too early for them to have shown. Next game, The Wandering Village. This is a village construction game.
Oh, this is this thing.
Yeah, you're on a gigantic monster,
and you're building the city on the back. What was the name again?
The Wandering Village.
Okay,
it works.
Yeah,
the village is wandering.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this, I've never seen this in another like village builder.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot assign tasks to your villagers individually. You just you select a task of I want wood to be gathered, and then random villagers will do that.
Oh.
so that you'll select which trees you want, and then the guys from the opposite side of the map, nowhere near it, will go try and build or take the lumber. So it's like, this isn't efficient. I can't make it more efficient.
So this game believes in the myth of the free market.
Yeah,
I want trees. Random idiots nowhere near trees come up and charge you way too much.
Yeah, and it does that for literally everything. It's like, I want this built. Random people come from whatever task they were doing. You can't even tell which one to stop doing that task.
I was delivering a baby, but now I'm gonna cut down this tree.
So that was disappointing.
That is unfortunate.
It's really neat though that you can zoom in all the way from this view to down, like seeing individual people on the monster, all the way back out to a world map to where your village is wandering.
Oh, cool. Let me simulate that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. This is as far as I can go.
Maybe they'll change it by the time it releases. I currently don't feel like it's in a place where I would ever play it.
Oh.
Because something about having that and not be able to actually assign tasks properly makes me go insane.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. It feels like you took SimCity and almost kind of sort of made it black and white-esque.
Yeah, I didn't play much black and white, but I assume
you have direct control over the thing, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
But everything else is like, well, I'm going to try to get them to do what I want by being a psychopath. Anyway. What's next, Bob?
Next is Angerfoot. This was one of my favorite games on this whole list. This is amazing.
You can go back and watch Summer Games Fest and watch live as Bob's brain breaks on impact and goes Angry Foot, and all I could think of is Angry Birds.
Yeah, I kept calling it Angry Foot even after the fact. I can't stop. Most of this game is made of toilets. There's a toilet in almost every room.
I didn't notice this entire room. I was reading the graffiti and looking around and just went, yeah, those are chairs, and didn't even look directly at them. This is, how many toilets is this? That is 11 toilets.
Yeah, in most,
and a porta potty. Why do you need a porta potty next to this many toilets?
In there.
What the hell?
But this is a small level based first person game, kind of modeled after God, what is that? We mentioned it when we saw this on the stream. God,
you need to give me anything.
You go around with a mask. It's top down. You hit people's sick. And they die.
Hotline Miami.
Yeah, Hotline Miami.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So your only melee attack is your kick.
Yeah,
which is great. You can kick down doors. You can kick doors through guys.
Mm-hmm.
It kills them. Then you pick up a gun. You cannot reload the gun, but you can throw it. So the idea is, okay, you shoot all the bullets out of that gun, and then you just throw that and move on to the next gun that someone dropped. And they're very short levels. The whole idea is get through the level really fast, or you get another achievement for killing everyone in the stage. Really neat, a lot of fun, looks great, has this amazing style. I probably should have taken more normal pictures, but the other picture I have here is there is a cutscene you get to control where you actually move around. Everything you do is with a foot.
I see that.
So you get a call from like the police chief who's corrupt. Who tells you
going to kill me.
He has your shoe, Arthur.
Yes, I know.
Oh my
I can't
God.
handle this. This, you know what? This reminds me directly of the old Paper Mario N64 commercial where they're like, Bowser suspended Paper Peach over a shredder.
Yes.
So then he goes in his other room where he's like has 100 different pairs of sneakers, but this Arthur here is missing.
Arthur's important too.
In this whole scene, you can move around, just look around. You have your girlfriend next to you.
Oh, is that what the pink foot
That's
is?
what the pink foot is. You're just moving your whole foot around, so you like put your foot on her face.
Oh no!
And you can drink a bottle of like wine with your foot.
Oh my God!
It's immaculate.
I'm just gonna take this back to a cab that isn't full of foot.
Yeah, that's fair. If you get killed by the enemies, they all start dancing. The whole thing, the whole thing is constantly playing like heavy bass music.
It's really good.
You unlock extra shoes by doing better times at the levels and stuff like that, or getting so many kills with different weapons. and each shoe does a different thing. Like the shoes I got were, okay, this gives you a super kick, you power up, and then you like fly forward. And another one I got was, for every kill, your gun reloads. So you just automatically get more ammo for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which seems like the most useful one so far.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend this. Go play the demo. I'm probably just going to pre-order. This is amazing.
Damn. That's a high recommendation. Do you know if they announced this coming to anything else?
I don't know. I did not look into that.
I'll look that up while you talk about other things. Angry Birds. Yes, that's...
yes, Angry Birds. That's what we played. The next game I played is Shinobi no Grata. And Grata is Grata.
Yeah, that's the word Grata.
It's a 2D side scroller. It's got a really cool, like, kind of a bit aesthetic, but a little bit higher res. You fight like different monsters.
Yeah, I was having a stroke looking at the aesthetic where I'm like, it's too fucking colorful for the NES, and it's chunkier than I expect PC Engine, but the color palette, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot more animations than you would expect too, so it's hard to really describe how it is with pictures. I do suggest looking up videos of it at least.
Yeah, in fact, if you're looking at the video version of this podcast instead of listening to our sweet dulcet tones, you can see these legs are clearly rotated. Mm-hmm. That's why they have these errant pixels. So, like, this whole thing smoothly moves through this.
Yeah, there's a ton of movement there. Your guy has, like, his double jump is this weird backflip that has a ton of frames in it.
Like a ton.
It's not really that much of a focus on platforming. It seems much more focused on action. So you're just moving left to right, fighting a ton of ninjas coming at you, and then doing bosses. You get different weapons at the top of the screen. You'll see there. I got currently the Kasurigama selected, and that makes them just spin it in a big circle around yourself. And you have a power bar that expands and recharges as you kill dudes.
Yeah, if you're swinging the Kasurigama, it's probably being inspired by that one PC Engine game that I cannot remember the name of, where you have a ninja and you go around with that.
Yeah, it does feel a lot like I can't remember which old PC Engine game it is, but it does remind me a lot of different ones of those of that era, where it's like not focused on the platform. So don't go in here expecting Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden. It's much more just, okay, how do you fight through these guys?
Yeah, I'm torn on whether or not that background is Master System blue or PC Engine blue. I'm really torn.
I really liked it, but of course I'm biased. This is a ninja game with some cool art.
But be aware, there is a bias.
All right, moving on. The next game I played is Berserk Boy.
What's the deal with that?
This is the most Inti core game I have ever played, not made by Inti.
I'm not ready.
If you pull up the first image I got, you can see his power going out of control.
I'm worried. One moment.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
I can't control this. And that's the opening cutscene.
It's like if you fused Inti Creates and Freedom Planet.
Yeah, it's gotten that and a little bit. It's like Dragon Ball Z mixed with Monster Boy made by Inti. I don't know.
And then if you go to the next picture, you see that you literally have the base from Mega Man Zero.
Oh, Jesus fucking!
You're just there. You have the armor switching from ZX, where you pull up a menu. Currently, he's in the human form. He also has the electric form, which you see him in the art part earlier.
Wow.
You literally, you taught me if you heard this before. Dash into enemies to target them.
I'm out. I'm leaving. Good luck with
hit
this
a button
segment.
to shoot them with electricity. It doesn't feel as good because you have to land to do the electric shock. There's two modes to play this game in: modern and retro. I tried the retro mode first because it was like, well, this one has a live system. I'm okay with that. What I didn't expect, it triples the health of every enemy.
What? Why? That's not fucking retro.
I don't know. It literally went, like, I then went to the modern mode and understood a little bit better the gameplay loop of, okay, for these smaller enemies, you dash into them and keep going. Whereas in retro mode, you dash into the enemy, you have to back off, hit him with the special move, and then keep going. It's like, what are you doing? That screws out the pacing. I understand having bigger enemies do this, but yeah. I still think it's got some nice pixel artwork. If you're into indie games, try it. Because I know we have fans that are. If that's what you're down for, absolutely give it a shot. Let me see here. Anything else to say about that? Armor selection. It looks like there will be several more armors, so maybe some of them will be less obviously one specific indie game. Like, hopefully it will not just be Gunvolt and then another one for I guess it's a mix of Gunvolt and Luminous Avenger dude, who I cannot remember the name of. The next thing I've tried was Frogun or Frogun. It's
that thing.
Gun, but it's all one word.
Yeah, I think it's Frogun.
Yo, I'm Frogun.
This kind of has the problems we thought it would by seeing that gameplay. Because we saw a lot of it during the press releases over the last week. He plays this little girl in an adventurer outfit and has this gun that's a frog, and she shoots the tongue out to like grapple to areas, and there's 100+ coins in every area.
The coins, you can think of them like eggs, okay?
Yes.
And this game would really like it if you ate all these eggs.
Yes, there's coins everywhere.
You somehow found a screen cap with no coins.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Imagine that area had coins everywhere.
There's almost as many coins as there are pixels. Oh, I don't want to spoil that image. One moment. Let's go back to this one for now.
Yeah, this area would normally be covered in coins. I actually chose this picture because it represents a huge problem this game has.
Okay. Explain to me what's wrong in this image.
Okay, so you see the cursor that's grayed out on that pillar over there. That would normally tell you the tongue cannot reach that. Do not shoot it. It will not pull you over there.
Because by default, it's white.
By default, it's red. Like, it'd be red like the line going towards it.
All right, sure.
That the tongue will reach that and pull you over anyway. So it's inconsistent. And then sometimes it only pulls you halfway across. So a lot of times I'll be playing the game and it'll be like, okay, you need to go over this gap. Use your frog tongue, go over the gap. And it'll drop her halfway through for no reason.
What?
Yeah. That's on top of weird problems like the 200+ coins in the level. If you die anywhere in the level, it doesn't keep that. You have to recollect all of those that you got.
Which in a normal game would be fine.
Yes, this is a game where
a game with 410 coins per level.
And you walk half the speed you expect you
Dude, I walk a third the speed I expect. It's so weird. Like, that's the number one thing where I'm like, I don't know that I would enjoy playing this because there are 100 coins in like 4x4 giant fields, and I walk so slow.
Yeah, you walk so slow. It's crazy. I don't know.
The aesthetic is immaculate.
The aesthetic's great. I love the character design. I love so much about this. I'm really sad that it's like, okay, the tongue system doesn't even work right. That's the entire game.
Yeah, I know. Like, the aesthetic's really cool, and I really want to play a game like this on paper. I love this game.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see movement speed and other things like what you were talking about. And
they also introduce a rival character who has a snake gun. You do a race against him. If you touch him, you take damage. It's very strange.
It's like mid-range in DKC 2.
Yes.
If you touch water, you can show them that second.
Oh, okay, I can finally show them this image.
She just does this and you're dead.
She's like, this is where it ends. This is us at the end of the summer of gaming.
Yeah, she just T-poses like, okay,
I'm done.
It's over.
It's okay. It's time now. Clearly, the thumbnail I made should have just had her floating in the big thick dimension.
It's really strong. So this was disappointing. I was really hoping that'd be good.
Yeah, despite knowing all these things about it, I'm still probably stupidly gonna buy it.
I mean, you can at least go play it. The demo's up for everybody. Maybe the amazing aesthetic will get through it being a bad game.
I'm sure the story is also pretty charming.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like just her looking for her parents who are adventuring. Like they're adventurers and they left her behind because she's not ready to adventure yet. But she's like, oh no, I'm going to chase them down.
So she's wearing a life vest.
Yes.
But she's convinced she's dead.
Yes. It's over.
All right.
The next game I played was Spark the Electric Jester 3.
Oh, cool.
I was really confused. The opening level is a car. Like you drive a car.
Is this normal for Spark games?
I don't know, but if you look in the lower right, you'll see that they misspelled braking.
When you hit LT, did it break the car?
No, you used your brakes on your car.
Okay. Why is it? Did you finish the level and then it was like a Parappa moment and it's like, oh, that was a great movie. I sure like Sunny Funny. She sure is. I don't know anyone in Spark's fucking name.
She Spark gets out of the car, is like, looks cool, and then moves on to the next level. And I say looks cool, but really every single cutscene in this is really poorly directed and hold way too long on things it thinks are cool.
And then Spark says a Gex one-liner, and
I don't remember if it had voice acting. I feel like it should, but I don't think it did.
oh, interesting. Is Spark going for like a Sega Saturn Sonic thing or like a Dreamcast?
This is very directly Sonic Adventure.
Well, then you need bad voice acting.
I know, right?
And really good guitar. Really good guitar.
But this plays more like what I expected 3D Sonic to continue playing like than any have since Adventure 2.
Are there more pictures? Or just this car? Okay,
Yeah,
I can show.
You get rail grinding just like Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, hey, look. This looks like a Spark the Electric Jester game.
Yes!
Huh.
I know, crazy. Yeah, you go through very large areas. They keep going. There are combat mechanics that seem way too fleshed out.
Okay.
Like you have a ton of different attacks and moves, and it's like most of this game is going through levels quickly, and you still have the homing attack like Sonic Adventure, and that kills most things in one hit.
And that's another like Freedom Planet thing where it's like you have all these moves, but why?
Right.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing that keeps happening in that exact niche.
But it's got a ton of really neat movement ideas. So you can, like, you hit a wall, you can wall run from side to side. You have a slight boost button. It's not a Sonic boost button where it's just like, okay, hold this button and you look cool. You have to kind of mash it frequently to keep momentum up. And the whole game has momentum everywhere. So you have momentum on the rails. You have momentum like just running around.
Okay. Cool.
It seems like a lot of fun. The only thing I didn't really like was when I got to the boss fight, and it's like, hey, use these combat mechanics that are kind of sloppy. But it has a parry. It got the parry in before Sonic Frontiers.
I guess it technically also got it in before Freedom Planet, unless someone in Freedom Planet 1 had a parry and I forgot. Because I think 2... because they announced 2 was going to have a parry. They announced this like 5-6 years ago or whatever.
Okay.
I don't think we ever got that update that was teased. I'm going to go check. Because they were like, we're going to let you know soon when Freedom Planet 2 is coming out. And I'm like, oh, great. Guess I'll eat crow. Because I just brought up on Big Think the day this happened that, we hadn't heard about that. I wonder if it's in dev hell. And then I didn't hear anything that next month. Let me go check.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah, it's been months.
It's crazy. We got 3 Spark the Jester games before Freedom Planet 2 happened. And
Looks like it's supposed to be September.
Okay.
God, it's been 8 years. Jesus Christ.
Of all people, I am the most viscerally aware. Because we did that Freedom Planet 1 review. I was like, oh, we sure are getting comments from people who don't realize these cutscenes we're talking about aren't in the game anymore.
Right.
God, what is the name of that studio? Galaxy something?
Trails?
Or is it Trials? It's Galaxy Trail.
We'll never know.
Oh, okay.
Trails in the Galaxy. That's cool. I'm excited for Freedom Planet 2. And also Spark the Electric Jester 3?
Yeah, this really does feel like if you like that Sonic Adventure era, definitely try this out.
I do.
I am worried about them having too much focus on combat. That one boss was pretty darn bad. It was a bunch of damage spun. Just this takes way longer than it should, and it isn't fun in any way. But other than that, exploring the levels was fun, and they have a bunch of side objective levels where you get more medals to unlock more stages by doing like, okay, we took this big area we made and just hid coins you need to find throughout it, and you have to do that within 5 minutes. So it's kind of like the Sonic and the Knuckles stages, but without weird different mechanics. You just play as regular Spark. You don't have like a different moveset or anything.
You don't play as Spark's gangster friend.
No, which unfortunately means you don't get a cool soundtrack.
You don't have a level that is the size of the state of Texas. That's like, yeah, they're here somewhere.
The singer, the rapper slowly breaking down as he enters hour 2 of you trying to find it. I'm just gonna creep down a pumpkin.
All right, the next game I normally wouldn't cover, but it's so funny I had to.
Okay.
Ninja no Boken. This is a clearly stolen asset game. They remade Ninja Gaiden 1 with Ninja Gaiden art stolen from like 2 and 3, the 3D ones.
What?
But recolored. It's like, this is Ryu Hayabusa's from Ninja Gaiden 3, recolored to be like a Ninja Gaiden original NES. It plays and looks horrible, but there is a mode called Kohai mode that's easy mode.
Time to enter Kohai mode.
All right, next game.
Okay.
Detained. Too good for school. That.
This is just more of the ninja game I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, whoops. I guess you can look at more of that.
What? Work Cafe Kafifi.
Yeah, it is dire. They remake all of the first stage of Ninja Gaiden on NES.
This
is the ugliest thing ever.
This reminds me of that 360 Double Dragon game that either did happen or almost happened that looked like absolute crap and no one remembers.
Yeah.
It's just so not done.
That dude walking towards you has the most Unity Store walk ever made.
Well, I appreciate his motion blur. That's how I know he's moving.
Yes.
And not, a statue. Okay, what was the next actual?
Detained. Too good for school.
Okay.
This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up with the inspirations from Yakuza and Persona.
Okay.
It's got Vanillaware-inspired movement to everything, so everything's kind of segmented like that.
Mm-hmm.
You play as this tomboy girl who's been thrown in jail for basically alleged to be part of a gang.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after her and some other girl get out of jail, and they're trying to break up the gangs.
Okay.
But there's leveling elements to it, like you see from Persona, where you go to class to get skill ups.
Mm.
You have
That's
a menu.
cool.
If you go down to the next one, you can see the menu layout is very similar to a Yakuza game in a Persona game. Like very stylized.
I really like that background key art.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good art. It clearly is a little early, because in other areas you'll literally see characters who are just drawn in, like not fully colored yet.
I know, I'm losing it. I'm like, bruh.
I don't know what bruv does.
Bruh.
Dude, this is fucking me up like the Doug button on the Tiger Electronics.
Yeah.
What's the bruv button do?
I don't know what the bruv button will do. There's actually like the dating sim element type things where there's time progressions. I don't know if there will be dating sim elements to the game other than that, but there's moving through time, so you can only do certain things at certain times of day, and you can going to class will take a part of the day, so you can't do other things after that.
And you just have to sit there and wonder why ye can't bruv.
Sound effects weren't great. Some of the music was repetitive, but other music was good. So I'm wondering if it's just not fully how far this is out.
I'm gonna need a bit of time to recover from bruv.
Yeah, no.
I wonder if that is like the romantic relationship side of things. if you tap the bruv button.
This looks really cool. I like the art style.
Yeah, it also has a weird issue with the motion blur. Like, there's too much motion blur. If you go back to the character art again, the regular, like that looks like that in game. Like, everything gets weirdly pixelated when things move.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
if it's still, like, if your character is not in movement, it will just look like clear, good art. But then you move for it all, and it does that. It's very strange.
Okay.
But I'm definitely excited. Like, I could totally see this being solid in a few years or so.
Well, Bob, I'm happy to announce it comes out today on Steam.
And Switch.
What was the game name again?
Detained. Too good for school.
I'm gonna see if they actually do have any. Nope, release date coming soon. It says initial release date 2020 October 6th, and I'm like,
what does that mean?
I don't think that's right. Oh, this was a Kickstarter game.
Oh, really?
And now you can just go pre-order it even still?
Huh.
That's interesting. But they're not still running it. Interesting. Okay. Oh, stretch goal.
Yeah, I should have looked into how, like, who made it.
Oh god, they are British.
Let's not hold that against them.
I was gonna make a joke this whole time of I'm very excited for the Gubna button.
That explains some parts of it, because it feels like this bizarre mix of clearly Japanese school stuff, but then Americanized things, like you're in a regular school bus. So I don't know. It's strange.
The term is anachronistic.
Oh no. I guess move on to the next game.
Okay, sure.
Moonscars.
Moonscars.
It's a Souls-like Metrovania with art
Oh,
that makes everything incredibly hard to see. Everything's really dark. Your bonfire replacement is literally called a dark mirror.
A dark mirror?
Yes, it is just a dark mirror.
The trolls are going to come out of it.
I was like, now is this going to tap more into Thiel's pitch or siphon filter dark mirror?
I hate those bars so much.
So moving on.
Yeah, we don't need to go into this anymore.
All right, what's this next one? What are we looking at?
Cow in the 5 Pirates of Mara. This is really cool. It's a 3D platformer.
Real quick, Cow, K-A-O?
K-O-A.
Koa.
Koa, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was confused. Like, is that the fucking kangaroo? I think.
Yeah,
that's
I was like, cow's a fucking kangaroo, and that doesn't look like a moo cow. What the fuck is with this name? Okay, Koa in the what?
The 5 Pirates of Mara.
Okay. The Pirates of the Blackwater.
Yes, absolutely.
Are these shrimp?
No, those are little shells, shell coins.
I see. It's a lot more clear when you get to this one.
Yeah, because they're
the
spinning.
side. Yeah. Okay.
It's a 3D platformer inspired by Mario's 3D World. So, like, the stages are linear. You don't move the camera. You have a roll mechanic that's all about building speed. So you hit the run button is you hit the ground and she does a roll, and you can jump out of that and you get faster each time you do it.
Oh, cool.
So you get to go through these stages like really quickly. There are no enemies. It's really strange. You expect enemies, but there's basically no enemies, and there are obstacles. Like, some levels will have cannons or spike balls that move or swinging devices. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. It's all just going through these levels. Movement feels good. You have a hometown that you go back to, which the other picture is of, where you can meet the other characters from another game they're making.
What's
that's in the other picture. It's Mika, the witch's apprentice or something.
It's Miku Hatsune.
She's literally just hanging out in this town. You can explore the whole town, but I was most caught off guard by it literally having an ad. She's like, go wish list my game too.
Please wish list my game.
This game's probably pretty close to done because it's the same people making her game. So I assume that they're just trying to make them both at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested in what they think because, as far as I can tell through my early searches, it's just release date 2022. It doesn't have a date per se, just this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this had a pretty decent number of levels to go through. Yeah, I definitely suggest giving it a try. It's if you like 3D platformers like that.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, I think I liked it more than 3D World just because of how much speed you could get going.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next one, Cult of the Lamb. And this is a game a lot of us saw during various Devolver Digital events.
Yeah, we've been looking at this for a couple of years.
I wasn't clear on the structure until I played the demo.
Okay, what is it?
The structure is a lot like Hades.
Okay.
So you go out, you fight through a bunch of little combat rooms that are like generated as you do it. And then you go back home to the town, and the town is what levels up your character. I didn't get to mess around with much of the town. They did not let me see that, but it was like some basic, okay, you go recruit followers, they do jobs in town, that gives you buffs. And then when you're out in the world, you can find like different weapons to equip that give you a different moveset, and then cards that have like stat boosts, like you'll see in Hades, where instead of the different affiliations each of those gods had, it's literally just, okay, this card gives you a buff to this kind of attack, or makes your cooldown faster for this kind of attack, which I assume is just the structure for a lot of these indie roguelikes, but I haven't played Binding of Isaac enough to know.
No, Binding of Isaac is much more.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac, you just fresh each time.
As someone who has played 150 hours of that game.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you start, you have nothing, go. And there's not even like there's not even like a didactic, oh, you came back to life. No, it's just you did.
you died. Try not doing that next time.
If you go down to the next picture, you can see some of the shops you run into out in the world. That like this is a snail vendor who sells you food that gives you different stat boosts.
I like him yelling.
Yeah, it's really good. And then he has like the actual guy doing it is the little dude next to him is like, I don't know, not a shrimp, but some sort of weird shrimp like
he looks like the rainbow shrimp.
Rainbow shrimp?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really powerful shrimp. It has like the ability to just put out a shitload of jewels, so it could actually seriously hurt you.
Huh.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's really deep in the ocean. Don't worry about it.
All right, don't worry about it. But yeah, the art style is immaculate in this game. Like, just looks so good. The other, like, one of the special moves you get is just making tentacles appear out of the ground. Getting a big energy sword that hit dudes with. I don't really like the main weapon they gave me for this demo is a tiny dagger. So I have to get so close to the enemies that it's hard to actually be able to tell when they're going to attack so I can evade it. So I feel like I wasn't having nearly as much fun as I did in Hades, but there's a potential for a different weapon that feels good. And lets me stay a little bit at a distance so I don't get so visually confused.
I'm going to take advantage of us doing this live to just type in rainbow shrimp. Just so Bob could see exactly why I would be like, yeah, it's probably this badass.
Oh, Jesus. Look at that dude.
Yeah, he'll fuck you up.
That's a ton of legs. Oh, my God. I didn't It's like, shrimp have to have that many legs. No, they don't. Oh, okay.
New Podlord bit. Jesus Christ, guys. Sorry. Trying to not read chat, but the thought of that thing showing up in Podlord bit's killing me.
The next game I got here. Grand Theft Auto Vice Kitty.
Please be a good game.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
This is an open world game where you play as a cat and do mundane tasks and go around an open world that's not done at all. But I put it on here because it's hilarious looking. Look at this. It looks horrible.
Yeah, this is worse than Xbox Live Indie Game tier.
And then if you go down to the graphics settings, it's hilarious. The next picture is it at max quality.
Okay, 1 second. So
look at the cat's face. Just look at that.
Okay.
And then you go down one graphics level and then look at the cat's face.
Okay.
Which is the next picture.
Let's bring that up. I'm sure it will be.
And they do it. They absolutely make sure that is why it's doing this.
Bob, it's just permanently making
it's just constantly making the
what?
The mouse is just a gape in the lower graphics setting the entire time.
That sounds like a feature. I don't. That's amazing.
This is really not good, but if you're really into cats, sure, go play the demo.
Okay, that seems safe. You know.
And the next game is Fetch the Ferret.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah, you got more you
I
want?
noticed something about this cat.
Uh-huh.
There's a little similarity between that and the dinosaurs. I think that cat's the green one.
Yes.
Anyways, what's the next game?
Fetch the Ferret. It's FECH.
Oh.
This is
He looks troubled.
This is a 3D platformer where you seem to do nothing. I started passing out as I played it. You swing the camera with L2 and R2, but you can also use the analog stick, so I'm not sure why that's there.
Is this like super early and like we got moving working?
Maybe,
You wanna
I
see
hope.
that?
I don't know. Bob's falling asleep while playing it. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking maybe that's what it's intended to do.
Maybe.
It could be one of there are games like that, so maybe it's one of those.
But yeah, you literally just walk around this big area that's all kind of aesthetically like this, where it's just bright colors and nothing's there. Like nothing.
I can't believe they stole Shroomis's face.
Oh no!
They just shaved the unibrow. It's fucking, there you go. Now it's a ferret.
All right. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Agent 64 Spies Never Die.
This is also a headliner from Summer Games Fest for sure.
Yes. It is very blatantly, hey, I'm GoldenEye.
You remember GoldenEye?
You remember
Yeah.
GoldenEye?
Oh, that's me. And I'm like, but it's not. They're like, yeah, it basically is.
So yeah, you get
Close enough.
it plays a lot like you expect. You get a ton of auto aim. You just sort of get to walk around the environment. He automatically shoots whatever's in front of him. So it's easy to control and pick up. Higher difficulty modes add extra objectives.
Mm-hmm.
There's a CRT filter that's on by default and awful looking, so I didn't even take a picture with it.
Thank you.
They have the facility bathroom, which is
Okay.
why I pictured there.
Okay.
They screwed up.
Okay, why is that?
You cannot slide back into the vent after you drop down.
Oh, they fucked that up. That's important.
How do you do that?
I don't
How?
know. I don't know.
There's so much.
They'll figure it out. You know, this game has a level creator.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that I'm very excited for. We play your Agent 64 levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, you also have the thing where they'll put locks on stuff, like a big padlock, and you aim at it with your cursor and shoot it. It's like, yep, this is GoldenEye.
That's what I want.
The next game I played is Stonks.
Stonks?
Stonks
Like the
9800. Yes.
Stonks.
Oh, that's a really good
Oh
UI.
my god.
This is actually really great.
Yeah, this is PC 88 as hell.
Yeah, it just obviously is based off the ancient PC. The only screen that has a like visual like this is this one where you talk to her and she tells you what's happening with the socks. The rest of this is the whole screen for the game. If you look in the lower left, you'll see home, and that's where you just click that and you can see how those socks are doing.
Okay. You didn't take a picture of that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, this game is incredibly basic. It's one screen. Literally just this one screen. You watch charts and you buy stocks. You go to the bank to take out loans and lose money.
Cool.
If you're into that, go for it, man.
Yeah.
All right, next game I played. The Misanthropic Girl.
The Misanthropic Girl? That's a weird title.
It is. You boot it up, it literally has this giant text of the creator's name. Like, he's incredibly pumping himself up. He puts that in gigantic text several times in the intro.
Nice.
And then it's a really, really bad feeling action RPG.
Oh.
There was a ton of motion blur. Like, that's why it looks like that. It's just so much.
Yeah,
I don't think I can turn it off.
This looks like I made a game in Unreal, sort of.
Yeah, I think it's Unreal, and it's just incredibly, like, they got it out.
Excuse me. Weirdo does well. Is that the quest line?
Yeah, that's the quest you're currently doing.
Okay.
So it's I guess you're the weirdo, and you're fighting these monsters that attack the school.
This looks like a really, really rough dream from Dreams.
Yes. it has a filter over the whole screen I couldn't figure out how to turn off that just makes it look hideous.
You mean that rainbowing artifact?
Or I guess
they're trying to give it
operation.
Well, kinda.
I think that there's a slider for it that's beautiful or fast for
wait, what?
For the motion blur and for chromatic aberration. It's like there isn't off. Like
that's terrible.
If you go down to the next picture, you get to see the larger world they've made.
That's a cool bicycle you have.
Yeah, you spawn it in at any point, and it despawns you touch anything.
So about how this reminds me of a dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
It feels terrible. You hold the attack button, and she just does a string of attacks. It feels bad. Do you have a dodge button that feels bad?
Chat was already comparing it to Final Fantasy 15.
You need to understand, that is the exact same quest font.
Yeah, it is.
Like they are directly ripping stuff from 15, which makes it funnier. Pick something else, please.
It's weird how many of these games is somebody like, yeah, I was really inspired by Final Fantasy 15, but this doesn't look nearly as good as that one dude who's just making the sickest looking thing in the world by himself.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Next game.
Okay.
Spell Crisis, Legend of the Deadly Scent.
Now, is Spell Crisis all one word?
No, it's two separate words.
Okay, Spell Crisis. Got
it. Scent is in money, not scented as smell.
Okay, so the title one more time.
Spell Crisis, Legend of the Deadly Scent. And you find out that that's because there's... The whole thing is the principal of Magic School has stolen a single penny that has some sort of cursed magic power, and you're trying to get it back and figure out what it'll do, because no one knows. It's a Mega Man inspired game, like original Mega Man.
What?
You go around as this witch. You shoot pellets. The pellets shoot at a set rate. It's no faster for if you're closer to an enemy. Like it's not okay, this many pellets can be out screen at once. It's literally okay, every 5 frames we can shoot a pellet.
Okay.
Which makes it feel very slow. The boss of this demo was a 28 plus hit witch.
Oh.
Which was awful.
When are they adding her to Mega Man Maker?
Yeah, it then breaks after the opening stage, which is very Mega Man inspired. It breaks into a larger open world, but there's not like
city?
Yeah, like a hub city and a bunch of other places to go, but it just feels directionless. And also, I didn't find any extra spells. And there's also a morality system. Like after I beat that witch, it was like, hey, you can tie her up or knock her out, and that'll get you points towards either house because you're wearing the sorting hat, which is trying to put you in, figure out which of the 2 houses you're in, the attack house or the defense house.
Oh my god.
It's quite a game. I got another picture there that lets you see how the art looks when you go to the game over screen or also during cutscenes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got pretty nice art.
I like it.
I like her in jail. I'm sad that this doesn't... The hat has a face. I should have shown one of the pictures where the hat has the face.
That's pretty
like
sorting
literally.
hat. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very literal. But it's way cuter.
That's good.
All right. Next game. Outclass Hunter. There's so much motion blur. Oh my god, there's so much motion blur. Get me out. Help.
Yeah, I can tell. Holy shit.
Luckily, you can't turn it off in this game, but I think it was funnier to show it with it on.
This is how a 2D being feels when they enter the 3rd dimension.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Demon Turf, where you got a 2D character in a 3D game. But it's more inspired by Sonic and feels awful. You have a jetpack, you jump and then jetpack, and you get way too much speed, and you cannot slow down for the life of you.
Okay, so this was the game I looked over, and it looked like Sonic Robo Blast 2.
Yes. It's like like you said, it was them trying to make a Saturn Sonic game because they lost their mind.
I mean, I think that's the funniest and best thing in the world, that they didn't get a 3D Sonic game on the Saturn, and to this day, Sonic fans are like, well, we're gonna fucking make it!
And then you also had to tell me, that event, that festival it had at the beginning, Sage is a Sonic game festival.
Yeah, no, it was very clearly Sonic Robo Blast oriented.
It also has voice acting, too much of it. It's all really bad in a very funny way. So if you know, my worst play just for that. The combat, for some reason, there because all of these Sonic alikes have to have combat that's way too developed and also bad. I have 2 different attack buttons. They swing the tiny little daggers, and then there's an effect around you. It's not convincing as an attack at all. But at least the boss in this one, I killed in 2 hits and didn't realize it was a boss. And then I'm like, good job.
I guess that's an upgrade. What was the name of this one again?
Outclass Hunter. And Outclass is the guy with a hyphen between it.
Oh, interesting. I figured it would either be 1 word or 2.
Nope.
Not hyphenated 2. Interesting.
Next game.
I prematurely opened the image for this one.
The Spirit and the Mouse. This is a 3D rat platformer. You play as a rat.
We call those rat formers.
You're like in a French city. It plays like sleepy French music all the time. You can only jump when there's a prompt for it. So it's like context sensitive jumping to climb stuff.
So it's kind of like what fucking Stray looks like it might do.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You are electric rat, so you can you like spark at stuff.
Oh, that explains the electric meter in the upper left here.
Yep. So
Okay.
you collect those lightning bolts by sparking at various things, and then if you show the next picture, the whole thing, the replacement for stars in this Mario like.
Okay, this rat former Mario.
Yeah, that rat former are these Skrunkos you go find.
Wait, what the?
This one literally gives you a mission to go do stuff. And then he's like, okay, I will now go in the hole that is powering something.
So wait, you're shoving these dudes in holes.
Yes, you shove these dudes in like an oven-looking thing. It's actually in the background of the same shot. You see that thing that has the little insert for him? Yeah, he goes and sits in there, and he's like, okay, now the TV will work. It's kind of neat.
Okay.
Lots of dialogue, probably too much. Like some of the missions, they're just something super simple. Like another Skrunko wants you to go collect his mail. There's just mail sitting everywhere, but he keeps talking after the point. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I need to go around the level looking for that. But then he's like, I have 3 more lines of dialogue to go through. I'm like, you shouldn't though.
You shouldn't though. I'm gonna ask: are these characters the Kiblins?
Yes, they're the Kiblins.
Referred to over here in this. All right. What was the name on that again?
The Spirit and the Mouse.
Sorry for anyone who thought the name was Rat Former.
But yeah, I do suggest trying this out. It's got an aesthetic that I kind of like.
Okay.
The next game, I was super surprised by this. It's called Ghost Song.
All one word?
No, 2 words actually.
Okay.
It's hyper obviously inspired by Metroid.
Yeah, I saw you playing a bit.
Yeah, you play as this character in an armored suit in a cloak, kind of like the opening to that Halo game that never got made.
No, that's not true. They made the Halo game called Halo 5, but it certainly didn't fucking have that scene made.
You could buy a toy of it, though.
You could buy a toy of it and then see a little bit of that art returned in the art book for Infinite.
Yes. Oh. They add RPG mechanics to it kind of smartly. It has soul stuff, like if you die, you drop all your money.
Okay.
And then you can go pick that back up. And that money is used to upgrade your suit to like get better firepower, or there's like 2 other stats. And one increases your melee damage, one increases your gun damage, and a third increases your stamina. It's got a really cool aesthetic and tone to it. But yeah, you're exploring this dead planet. Or not really dead planet, this very strange planet where you don't know what's happening. You're called Dead Suit. And it's kind of implied that you're just a robot who's woken up after years and years, and you have no idea what's happening. So most of the time, she just meets things like and is like, "Oh, you died." And really basic, just I don't know what any of this is, but it doesn't look good.
Okay.
The next picture, you'll see one of the guys you meet, and I think he sets the tone for a lot of the stuff you meet in here, where he's just a dude with this gigantic hammer, and he's like, oh yeah, I go in this hole and kill a bunch of different bugs. This is how I communicate with them. It feels like they're trying to etch into my brain, and the only thing I have to communicate with is this hammer, and I'm trying to build communication by killing them like 10 more each day. It's a tone.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
Is it fun to play?
Yeah, it's
Does
pretty
it feel
fun.
good?
This does use an analog stick for movement, but it has the aiming things from Metroid Dread.
Okay.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it has this mechanic where you build up heat on your gun as you shoot, and then that makes your melee attack stronger.
Okay.
So you're really encouraged to be mixing that up all the time. You find different equipable sub weapons. So like I found a heat gun that would just use up a different energy bar and does heated shots, which work better on certain stuff.
Okay.
But I had a ton of fun with this. This is really impressive. I did not expect it to be as good as it was.
The name again?
Ghost Song.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely check that out if you like Metroid at all. Like, you also have a run button, so you get to dictate when you do the weird Metroid spin jump by holding the run button.
Holy shit, what a concept.
Otherwise, you do a slight jog.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it had just a ton of smart things. You get a dash that lets you dash your enemies and do air dashes too. And I thought, like, for most of the demo, I think I played this over an hour. I was just punching with you punch with the arm, but then it gave me a spear, and that totally changed my outlook for how this game played. Because that was like, oh, you're just giving me a totally different melee weapon. It still has those mechanics of heating up, but I'm like, what other kind of weapons am I going to find? And it activates another whole thing of, like, you could find a lot of cool stuff in this.
Content warning for anyone who's going to try to look up Ghost Song. You will run into search results for the Justin Bieber song Ghost.
Uh-oh. Beware.
Bieberware.
And then finally, my final game.
Uh-huh.
Gigasword.
It does look pretty big relative to our dude here.
Yes. This whole game
is a fairly
is
big sword.
It's built up much less like an action game and more like a puzzle game. So it's all about using this gigantic sword to do stuff like you see here, you shove it in the pedestal and then it moves your sword up. And then if you're not holding the sword, you have more movement options.
Okay.
So you jump higher and can grab onto ledges and stuff.
So would you say this is a Lost Vikings-like?
I don't know. I have not played that.
Bob, I can assure you it is not like Lost Vikings.
Okay.
No one would ship a game like that.
But yeah, if you go down to that picture, you see him platforming. You can only do without the sword.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you use the giant sword to like move giant blocks. Like they'll have various puzzles based around moving blocks and putting them on heavy objects, or putting them on buttons like you would in a Zelda. A lot of these are just straight up Zelda puzzles in 2D.
Cool.
You can also shove the sword down anywhere. So if you want to hold down a button, you can with the sword. You can do that. You can what other? There were just a ton of things you could do with the sword. The sword acts as a key for a lot of doors, so you can't go through a door without it a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they just saw tons of interesting ways to do that. And then for some reason, the end of the demo is a Souls-like boss. Is way too hard.
Huh.
And the combat in this does not feel great. You get a dodge roll, and your sword is super slow because it's huge.
Okay.
Which is okay for fighting random enemies, but for a boss, it's like, yeah, I take like a ton of hits. Doesn't feel great. So, oh yeah, also it's got a structure kind of, instead of being level based, it is like a Metroidvania, whereas it's just a ton of different directions to go. So you're trying to figure out the puzzles in this large area to find keys to let you into another area.
Gotcha.
And that's it.
Okay. That's it. We're going to head over to KZ. KZ, what you been playing?
Let's see. Well, first up, I did in fact do a Resident Evil 3 remake stream because they put out this next gen version, so I was able to check that one out. I could notice ray tracing, and it looked good. And yeah, it's Resident Evil 3. There's not really much I could really glean from it besides a good way to justify me playing through it again. Still really solid. I kind of wish it had boss fights that weren't Nemesis on all fours. Not the biggest fan of either time you fight him like that.
Really? I thought the one in the circular outdoors area with the bricked pavement next to that gate thing you move through after the battle, I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I really like that one because you put the mines on the walls, and he runs into them.
Like I like it in concept, but the first time you do it on like a fresh thing, I feel like he just has way too much health both times. Where I'm like, okay, we're doing it again. we're doing the cycle again. But aside from that, it's still solid. It's like probably one of my lower Capcom games in recent memory. So an 8. But yeah, still enjoying that. I've been also tearing through Monster Hunter Rise, trying to get prepped for the Sunbreak expansion at the end of the month. That's still really great. I'd love for Steam to stop having outages whenever I want to stream a video game. That's been a bit of a mess. I've had 2 moments where it's like, yeah, we can't finish group stuff together because of that. I love Troy Baker also. Real great guy.
That's great. What a random comment to bring up right now.
Yeah, he should have Monster Hunter Rise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a lot of anime VAs over in there. I also made sure to fail the QuickTime event at the end of Resident Evil 3 Remake.
That's important.
In case people missed what happens when you screw that up, which is real funny.
So good.
Mm. And I think that's all I think that's all the regular games I play. I'm struggling because the weeks go on and it's a bit of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I did start watching an anime Kaiji recently. I've been pouring through binging that. I highly recommend it. The concept of a shitty dude who doesn't amount to anything, taking on a bunch of debt and then having to play death games made by the Yakuza, or else they will force him into a labor camp for over a decade to pay off all of the money.
Yeah, it's basically like, I need money, and there's like 2 doors, and one says get a job, and the other says tic-tac-toe, but you die if you lose, and then he runs to the right door.
Yeah,
that's
to give people an idea of whether or not they could tolerate this anime. One of the games is, all right, you're going to play a very basic card game. We're going to put this cuff thing on your ear with a drill on it. And you're going to bet based on millimeters. And whenever you lose that bet, we're going to drill into your ear with those millimeters. And if you hit 30, it's going to pierce your eardrum.
Oh.
And at first I'm like, okay, so it's only really bad at the end. But it's so loud inside his ear. I was like, this show gives me insane anxiety. And there's a few fucked up things like that throughout that make me scream at my screen whenever I'm watching it. Highly recommended, though, if you can stomach it.
It's okay. Clearly from this image Dan's pulled up, he does not have an eardrum. It's fine.
Yes. It's really good if you want to see someone make some of the worst decisions you've ever seen constantly.
Oh, yeah, he's stupid.
It's... I turned into Riddler in the Batman toward the end of the first season.
He does too, like every other episode.
I assumed this was about him being some super Chad who just does everything amazingly, just from the different pictures I've seen.
It is the opposite of a super Chad.
It is a mix of, he makes some like plans that are like super Chad, like if you observe something really interesting, but you're making the worst decisions I've ever seen. Come on.
Yeah, basically, if he wasn't a colossal dipshit who got really arrogant frame 1 every single time, maybe he could be a super Chad. But it's like, things are slightly going in my direction. I can be a dipshit, and then all his limbs fly off.
But yeah, Sentai has like a Blu-ray. I picked that up that has both seasons that happened over a course of a few years. Real good. But that I think that was my week for the most part. At least stuff I'm down with talking about.
Okay. Hey, Feel.
I played a couple demos.
Ooh.
First, I played the Disgaea 6 demo because it's real now. It's a real game. It's going to come out in a week.
Yes.
Whoa.
And then I found out that Nisa, being Nisa, might have fucked something up in this demo. Won't actually carry over progress to the main game.
What?
Oh my god.
Even though it did on Switch. That's just what I'm hearing. I have no idea if it's true or not. But
I will lose my mind. NIS, stop. How do you fumble this much?
But it doesn't really matter because the demo's 30 minutes long anyway. So it's like, who cares?
Okay, it's not the situation like last time where it's like, yeah, just play the first chapter of the game.
It gives you the first 2 chapters, but they're so short.
Okay.
I'm really excited for it now because this is the best Disgaea protagonist we've had in a while. Because the protagonist of a Disgaea game needs to be like a little stupid Scrunko dipshit.
Yeah, no, he needs to be cringe. And
we don't need. Oh, the Zed is his name because he's a super zombie. He is super cringe.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I like it when they're pathetic. Though I did enjoy 2 and 5s a little bit, but I need the fucked up Scrimblow like Mao.
Yeah, he's not super pathetic, but he's like constantly screaming and cackling. And
yeah, that's good.
Like in the demo, you end up fighting because the gimmick of this game is that you're trying to destroy the strongest god of destruction to have ever existed. And the Zed has the power of super reincarnation, which means he comes back to life whenever he dies, as long as he doesn't give up. But he comes back to life somewhere entirely different. So the zombie dog who has like a very deep voice and is like almost the mentor character. Your base, because you always have a base in these Disgaea games where you like run around and then you like sortie out to the maps. In this, it's like a 4-dimensional like it's like a pocket dimension. Because you're constantly moving around. Like at the end of the first chapter, you die and you revive in like human fantasy world. So I assume each chapter is gonna be like, you died again. You're now in a different genre of anime.
Oh, okay.
That should be fun.
But one of like the moments that really got me to Zed, and the fact this game is 3D now means they can have cutscenes.
Ooh.
Like rudimentary ones, but still, there's you have to fight the human hero who got owned so many times by the god of destruction that it destroyed his spirit and he became like a weird shut-in. And he is voiced by Spike Spencer, making the most pathetic voice I've ever heard a human being make. But anyway, he's like the king of the human world who joins your party because he's like, I'll give you money, and then it says he joined. It says I think it says Zed got a new wallet. That's what it says when he joins the party. But the human hero, you beat him, and he's like, oh, I just revive instantly as soon as I die. And Zed goes, so you're good for grinding levels. And then there's a cutscene where Zed kills him like 8 times in one scene. This game looks really crisp at 4K. It also runs good now and loads fast, which are both very important.
Yeah.
There have been sacrifices though, like team attacks, because in a Disgaea game, if you position your characters right and then use an attack, they'll like team up and you'll get maybe like a funny animation of like in Disgaea 5, one of the animations was for a 4-person team attack was 3 of them form the pillar that Mercenary Tau rides on in Dragon Ball, and then the 4th one jumps on it and rides it into them. All those animations are gone now. Because I guess they didn't have time to remake them all in 3D. So team attacks like no longer have a visual element to them at all outside of like the cut-ins of the characters' faces.
That's lame.
Also, all attacks now take place in the attack dimension, which isn't a problem on the PS5 because they load instantly. But it is weird to like teleport to the pocket dimension where you do a move for every single move. But some of them can look cinematic now, so that's neat.
Is that even including just regular hit, like normal hits?
No, not regular attacks.
Okay. Yeah, that still kind of stinks. It was cool to see those in large areas.
This game really seems like it might have been intended to be a mobile game at some point, because there's stuff like the auto battle thing is like a mobile feature, but also you no longer gain levels inside fights anymore. You get all your experience at the end. Which is like a mobile game thing. they've really inflated all of the stats and levels because now the level cap is 9,900,000. It's 7 nines. It's 7 nines. I'm not sure how I like that yet. I'll have to get the full game because I always liked how in a Disgaea game it was like, yeah, the main campaign is level 1 to 100. And they do get, like, obviously, if you're fighting the strongest thing to have ever existed, I feel like that's the reason they scaled it up.
Yeah, I think that's them realizing the whole idea with this guy is, no, the numbers are big, like stupidly big.
Yeah,
make them bigger.
But that almost feels like it has the negative effect because, like, it doesn't feel good when a level 30 character can deal a lot of damage to my level 120 character because you get up to like level 60 after the first battle.
Huh.
Oh.
So I'm worried that they kind of like granulated the satisfaction out of their number system.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Right? Yeah, I didn't think it would do that.
Also, like, you start with like 40,000 HP at level 1. Like, and I don't even understand how stats are supposed to work. I don't know if they're lying to me or what, because when the basic weapon has 3,000 attack and like 2 tiers up has 3,200 attack, I'm like, is there something I'm not figuring out here? I can't tell if there's like no like the first 2 did like the back 3 digits of your stats are fake.
I'd be messed up.
But I guess I'll have to see when the full game comes out. The story seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, so I'm excited for that. There's been a lot of streamlining. For example, you no longer have to go to the hospital to heal your characters. They heal automatically, and the hospital is just to pick up rewards for getting beaten up.
That's good.
There's also like a quest board. So now it's like, kill this many of this enemy and you get like a bunch of free mana, which is what you use to like create characters and pass bills and stuff. So they added that. They've added a bunch of new mechanics for powering up your characters, which are neat. They also added some nuance to the reincarnation system, which every Disgaea game has had a reincarnation system, which is basically your character goes back to level 1, and I think this is how it works, at least in some of them. But they keep a percentage of their stats, and their stat growths are now way higher.
Mm-hmm.
So they've kept that, but also it gives you like a currency to use to upgrade the characters based on what level they were when you reincarnated. And it says you can like upgrade their abilities and like how far they can move and their number of counterattacks and stuff. They also made the geo panel shit work way faster, which is much appreciated because waiting 4 minutes for my chain to go off was fun the first time.
Right?
But now it's much faster. So yeah, it seems like it's going to be good. I'm excited to pick it up and play a version of that game that where I don't have to make the looks like shit versus runs like shit decision, and regardless of my choice, suck up like 90-second load times to get into levels. So I'm very excited for that. Prennies are Brian Beacock now, and I can't deal with that because he's just doing the Monokuma voice.
Oh god, that's who that is. I wonder what happened to old Prenny voice. They're iconic.
I don't know. Brian Beacock. Looking up who the Prennies were in this game, because I'm like, I've heard them before. Who the hell are they? But looking up, I discovered that Brian Beacock is also Yumi Chika in Bleach, which I could not place at all hearing him. But now I kind of can.
Unfortunate.
But yeah, I'm really excited. A lot of people who did play it on Switch are like, no, this is the best Disgaea story in like 3 or 4 games.
Oh, damn. That's good.
And I'm happy about that. The other demo I played was the Saints Row Boss Factory.
Oh no.
Let's go.
It feels like they really became a slave to their own aesthetic. Where it's like, no, like we want to give you goofy things, but we don't want to let you actually create a horrible monster. So we're going to really limit you in all these ways.
Huh. Where
it's like you can be kind of chunky, but you can't really be huge and fat. You can like we have a bulge slider, but it really doesn't do anything.
This is erasure.
Like you can control your face, but you can't really make like some hideous monster person. It just it really is like, I'm not sure they're making the right decisions with this game. You do get to pick the voices, and some of them are fine. I think it's weird that like they're not equivalent between like male and female. Cause there's like girl cowboy, but there is no boy cowboy.
Oh.
Huh.
And there's like girl British, but no boy British. I didn't hear.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Like it felt so limited to me compared to 2 and 3 that I'm like, what are you doing? But whatever. Well, I'll see when it comes out if it's on Game Pass. Otherwise, I will not find out.
That's rough.
Other than that, I started playing a classic PlayStation 1 RPG, that being Legend of Legaia. And if you don't know what that is a Sony sort of first party, because it was partially developed by Contrail, which was a Sony first party studio they made to go make games with other studios.
This is the face I make when people don't know what Legend of Legaia is. I get mad.
I included that image
like
so
your
you could.
eyebrows.
I included that image so you could zoom in on the great, obviously evil character's Vegeta face. His low poly Vegeta face.
Oh man, he even has the pointed ears.
No, not not that guy. The guy to his right.
Oh, is there?
Oh
my god!
One moment.
Did you do this shit on purpose?
We just. Oh shit! Da-da.
He's so ripped.
If you don't know what Legend of Legaia is, it is a turn-based RPG.
I should have put this guy in the thumbnail.
Like, why does it got Luke Street Fighter arms?
because this game is an early 3D game. But the way you do combat is as your character's levels go up, you get more of like a bar, and you fill the bar with directions: up, right, down, left. And if you do the right ones, you do fighting game moves, and it looks very Tekken-esque.
Yes, it's very cool.
And when you defend, the bar gets longer for one round, so you can like power up and do a real big combo. And it even has like chaining, where so if a move is like up, down, up, and then another move is like up, right, left, you can go up, down, up, right, left, and it'll do both.
Yeah. And some of the special moves can take more inputs or less to do absolutely ridiculous stuff, like 5 move inputs. Legend of Legaia is great. I love this fucking game. And then I was informed 2 existed at the same time I was informed it sucked. So it was like a real rocket ride there.
See, I'd like to play 2 again because I only played it once. And I think the disc I had was damaged because it would take like a solid minute to get into a battle. And that didn't seem right.
Yeah, I still have yet to even boot it once. So yeah, maybe at the same time we're going to have to go check out Legend of Legaia too.
Playing this game is neat, but playing it really makes you aware of how advanced Squaresoft's presentation was in that gen.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because while the main characters, like all of these characters in the screenshot that Dan showed, were primary characters, so they all look pretty good. NPCs look a little bit less good, like the image I posted after, where you can see a couple of the bimbo-fied girl NPCs who constantly walk pushing out their chests and waving their hands behind them.
Here, I'm going to zoom in correctly this time. This time I'll definitely find the bimbo. One moment. I think this is it. Is this not the bimbo? Oh, wait, 1 second.
Shaped like a chess piece.
I know, right? Like someone has to pick her up and put her down.
God.
She's got the world's most restrictive corset on.
Right.
and that's like every female NPC in this area.
Cool.
And some of the areas are really rudimentary also.
Yeah.
Some look okay, but a lot are like really, really basic looking. The this game's neat. I wish I'm not sure if there's nuance to the combat I don't understand, because I have beaten this once and then I got filtered 4 times before that. Because the back end of Legend of Legaia is rough. In the sense of just like, here's a boss to beat your ass, here's a boss to beat your ass, here's a boss to beat your ass. And it's like every other boss for the entire last third of the game. I will have nightmares about that night dude in the tower forever. He just shows up out of a portal and is like, I'm gonna kill you. And then he does. But yeah, I wish there was like, because sometimes your combos can like knock an enemy prone, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I wish there was like more fighting game elements of like, oh, you knocked them on their back, so now their turn comes last, or they even lose their turn.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can put them into like a stun state, but it doesn't have anything like that.
Meanwhile, the person who made it's like, I think it looks cool.
It does look cool. And a couple of combos even do other things, I think, but I think there's only like 2 in the entire game that do like a status effect.
Yeah, I don't remember that being a common thing.
It's mostly like just do the biggest one you can. So that's really neat. I'm having a lot of fun with that, and that's all I played.
Oh. Well, do you know what I was doing during you talking about Disgaea 6?
Getting the Podlords ready?
Yeah, they didn't have transitions until just then. That's right, everyone.
It's time to talk about the Podlords.
Oh my god!
Why is Ethan Schabowski there?
Because I paused a YouTube video on this frame and it was really good.
Man, you're making him seem really big.
He's fucking enormous. He's like, are you prepared for the death you've earned, little man?
Question, how many phone books is he standing on?
Thank you for the broiled chicken recipe, Ethan Schabowski.
His recipes are pretty good. Anyways,
Yes, that's right. The Podlords.
Oh shit.
Podlords such as, wait, I'm doing this completely wrong.
cool.
I'm still working this out. Lee Broyles. Do not pursue. Oh my god, where did it go? Okay, there you are. That's the actual thing. Do not pursue Wo Long. Okay, 1 second. I think this thing's set to auto. We're gonna pause this one moment.
We're behind the veil.
Oh god, Jesus Christ.
Everyone still be safe for the Podlord zone.
We're gonna restart it. Everyone pretend this is the first time, even though I'm not even gonna edit this out.
Yeah. I love live shows. They're the future.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as. Okay, how did these two get switched? That's the one thing I don't know. Can I click and drag? There we go! Yes, that's right.
Oh my god.
The Podlords. Podlords such as Lee Bryles. Do not pursue Wo Long. I don't understand. Guys?
What?
I don't understand what happened here.
I'm
gonna correct this.
The duration thing there. Is it doing it on the timer? Or?
No, that's not. It shuffled some of the images. I think we're gonna be good now. Hopefully Ethan gives us his blessing. Yes,
Please.
That's right. The Podlords.
Oh fuck.
Podlords such as Lee Royals, man. He got credited a lot this episode.
Yeah, he did.
Do not pursue Wo Long.
Okay.
Poinpy is an atmospheric first-person horror adventure game developed and published by Netflix Gaming. Somber Tapestry.
It's Poinpin time.
Yeah, I'm beginning to point.
Red Blaze 27. Please work correctly, for the love of God. No, it is not. Oh my God. What happened? You go up here. You. Okay.
I'm gonna have an anxiety attack.
Okay, this looks like it's. We're just gonna carry it from here. Breaking Benjamin Shapiro.
Why?
Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Shibuya Gato. No bit this week. Enjoy another wholesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrimblow.
Let's go,
It's
Hoot Cake.
Madolce Hoot Cake.
Just hanging out.
I don't even know how that just happened. I'm going to click again and see where we end up. Why is she so majestic?
Oh,
God help us. 101 Shades is majestic, unlike this Podlord segment. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF, Spider-Man. Mr. I like Poinpy.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What is this hair? It rules.
Look at that hand.
They should have called it the Summer Game Festering Hellhole with the amount of nothing that was shown. That show was ass. DFW 3K. You thought it would be a Poinpy Podler, but it was me, Metal Hellsinger.
Oh my God.
Shiny Mew braces for more Summer of Gaming. Shiny Mew has transformed into a real life cat.
Nice.
Congrats.
Hell yeah.
Kristen. Poinpy Figma Nendo when?
Oh my God.
Him. Again. You know, this went pretty flawlessly outside of it shuffling the first 5.
Yeah.
Kyle Bjork. BN12. I may be a Podlord, but thank you, other Podlords, for making me laugh. One day, I'll have a good bit. Maddie
Take your
Mo. Iron Aggro. Blig Blue. Schligd's Poo. Monster Hunter. Ryzen and Raiden. The Thruple Direct, hosted by Tim Schafer.
Jesus.
What? Thruple.
I mean that's the term for 3 people in a relationship. Why Tim Schafer though?
Teeth.
Oh, no.
Fuck you, Jordan.
Yeah, I knew this shit was Jordan.
Ghost chomping at his feet.
Guile, when he blocks the Ken Masters Dollar Store EX husband, Dragon Punch on Wake Up. Podlord, I really appreciate. Yes, it absolutely is. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate EX husband. Because that's the move. EX husband Dragon Punch.
Oh, yeah.
Wake up, EX divorce.
The Bernie Burger, now 3 times tastier at McZeon's.
Oh, no.
If AG had a nickel for every dating sim about birds, they'd have 2 nickels, which isn't much, but need it happen twice.
I feel like there's probably more than that.
I feel like that has to be the case. Unironic Persona 3 portable enjoyer.
I hope you like Super Eagle.
We are all different and all in hell. His name is Montgomery Mortimer Muddlesworth, and his favorite snack is microwaved egg. Indigo Sykes. G off nightly implies the existence of G on daily. Netflix shut the fuck up challenge. Oh fuck, it's the Raccoon Lords.
Ooh.
Got sick, ho, so enjoy more Jack Columbo, hee-ho.
One more thing, ho.
Just one more thing, ho. Shiji16 is extremely sad none of his mutuals play Legends of Runeterra and feels overall it's highly underappreciated. This creature right here looks like the Oatmeal Druid.
Oh.
Virvarm. Literally me.
Best film news of the week.
Hi, Ken. Kezuna I.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh, no.
Oh.
Reach heaven through violence. The Super Mim. Lane's World 25. The Hard M continues antheming on his launch Xbox One, granting him the power of frame by frame. I was reminded of Spider-Man's past sins. Now everyone needs to suffer. Sarlene. No bet here. Must beat the new Monster Hunter demo in record time. Poinpy!
Yeah!
Is that like the inescapable Poinpy hug?
Yes.
His
Death
steel grip.
He's gonna do a Chaozu move.
Ram. And Ram, thank you very much to our podlords.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Good gift. Hell yeah, it is. And people watching this live had the entire Bob segment to realize these first 2 tabs were Matrix gifts.
Oh, yeah, I saw that and I went, oh, God, the podlers are going to be so funny.
And if you would like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach, our Bleach review podcast, where we review all of Bleach, even all the filler arcs, even the Mount arc, the most legendarily bad piece of filler ever. I have to live with Jinkaria in my brain for the rest of my life. You should too. Extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when we have ideas that the format of those shows force us to leave on the floor or a dog can eat them. And a patron exclusive show 1 a month where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us by telling your friends, which is even easier now that we're doing this show live. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Yeah, you could even
that's true.
host this show
You can
on your own Twitch channel.
Host the channel or rate us in the middle of the live show. You know, if everyone watching this now hosted, we would be the most hosted channel on Twitch and probably still not get additional viewers, but who knows?
Who knows?
Only one way to find out. Patreon.com/gbpodcast. I heard we might have news.
Well,
Do we have news?
Yeah. A chunklet.
yeah, it's almost like there's a summer of gaming happening.
That was a thing?
I know, right?
I don't
My
remember.
body tells me it did happen.
Bring that up over here. Let me see. Let me look at this news.
Okay.
Oh, now the plugin to change the color of the background of Google Docs works and makes it literally unreadable. Thank you.
Yeah, that also happened to me.
How
Oh,
cool.
boy.
I had to bring everything back to default and cry.
Yeah, let me find my there we go. Turn that off. Okay. And then just reload the page. And there we go. I can read it now. Let's go through.
Yeah, there's not a good angle to this.
No, there isn't. We're gonna save hype stuff for later. So let's start with Feel. Because Feel's news did not largely happen today. One thing did.
Let me pull up the news. I was doing other bookkeeping.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see. Where is it? It's up. Scroll up through all the images. There's the news.
I hope everyone
let's talk
enjoyed
about-
the very neat
talk-
Podlord segment.
Let's talk about the wholesome direct. I've only put in the games that interested me personally because there was 100 games in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was Pass Part Out 2, a game where you're in a small town and you draw things for people using like an actual like paint type thing, so you can make really goofy signs and such. It looked neat and charming. There was also Snufkin, Melody of Moomin Valley, a Moomin licensed game. And then there was Bread and Fred, a game about 2 penguins tethered together. So it's like a platformer that has what is that series called?
Ice Climbers.
Umihara Kawase. It has like Umihara Kawase-esque mechanics.
I described that as somebody saw Ice Climbers in Smash Brothers and made it what they thought their 3D platformer would be.
And I'm
And
like,
it's like-
that's better because Ice Climbers is kind of bad.
It's kind of definitely only acceptable in that first like 6 months the NES is out, where it's just like, this is neat as an arcade at home experience I paid too much for.
Then there was Kaichu, chew as in kiss, a kaiju dating sim where monsters date, and that makes them either stop or destroy things. It was unclear from the trailer.
Yes.
Then Mika in the Witch's Mountain and Frogun, which Bob already talked about. Don't need to go into those. Also the Wandering Village, which Bob already talked about, so we don't need to talk about that. Then Bilkin's Folly, it is a sprite-based adventure game about a Guybrush Threepwood-esque guy with a big nose. It had a really nice sprite art. I might check it out. And then finally, and I think this was the winner of the Wholesome Direct, A Frog's Tale is an RPG with really obvious Mario and Luigi influences and rhythm mechanics, and it had a Kickstarter, which I've already contributed to. It looks really sick.
Did.
And I think they've hit their goal already. I'll check right now, actually.
Oh yeah, this thing. That's pretty cute.
Yeah, it hit its goal. It just broke through 1,500 above it.
Good. Great.
This is not the one that just literally had the Mario RPG text
Yeah.
in the title. That's good.
But was not a turn-based RPG. Future Game Showcase, same thing, only the things that fired my neurons. Morbid Metal, a DMC-esque action game made by one guy starring a robot samurai with like a gigantic cleaver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was morbid time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real neat.
I'm beginning to morbid.
Turbo Golf Racing, which is Rocket League, but golf. You're driving a car and like backflipping your ball into the hole.
I'm pretty interested.
Yeah.
Then Sunday Gold, a turn-based RPG about detectives in a dystopian city. That was a thing that had kind of like a Disco Elysium-esque vibe to it.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And then finally, we got a Pal World trailer. That game continues to look insane. I'm really if it's not just all lies. That's definitely in the same vein as like Dokev, where it's like, is any of this real? Or am I having a hallucination? Can I really shove my Scrunko into a rocket launcher and use it to blow up a sentry tower?
Yeah, I think it's real. What they've shown looks in-engine enough for me to believe them. Though it's insane, I have no idea what the structure will be.
I'm very excited to sell Pikachu into wage slavery.
It's literally going to be the most iconic, powerful writing in a video game since Spec Ops The Line.
God, I hope. I hope we can use white phosphorus in that game. As the protagonist of Demon Turf would say, moving on.
Moving on.
Tactics Ogre Reborn got leaked by the PSN store. That entire NVIDIA leak was fucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yep.
I wonder how much NVIDIA is like the fucking black sheep of the entire industry now, because it's like, you leaked all of our games for the next 5 years.
And you did it for your shitty streaming platform.
Oh, I'm sure they're jumping at the chance to be on that.
But the leak specifically called this a remaster, so I imagine it's just the PSP game, but with some like bells and whistles, which good. That's what I want.
Yeah, it was really weird when this surfaced on the PSN store, like, backend, the API, but then didn't materialize?
Yeah, we had all these events, but nothing got actually announced.
I assume that this is going to be Nintendo Direct fodder, because they seem to really, because they were Chrono Cross remastered and a couple other things. I think they were also Legend of Mana remastered.
Yeah,
so
I remember some PS remasters that just only appeared there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I assume it's just going to be like we were saving that for the Nintendo Direct. Some more Nintendo news, and now so much stuff, so many screenshots of this that come out. It's 100% real. There's a new Fire Emblem coming.
Yep.
It is, according to insiders, has been done for a year.
It's still so crazy.
Nintendo's the funniest motherfuckers in the industry.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Koei Tecmo is helping again. They were like, Three Houses looked like shit, so we're going to get Gust, who develops the Atelier games, probably the poster child for making a JRPG type game on a budget. They're helping with the visuals now, and it does look much, much better even from the grainy screenshots we got. The protagonist has switched Joy-Con hair.
Yes.
God, yeah, they do.
Or half of it is red and half of it is blue, and I'm like, that's not neat. We need more protagonists that just look like VTubers.
The protagonist is the Play It Loud campaign turned into a human. Her hands are going to be transparent,
and
I
do wonder if that's just her. If there's like a boy version too.
Yeah, they seem to be doing that frequently, where it's just choose your gender at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've done that for everyone since Awakening, so it's been almost a decade now.
Right.
Except for the one that was a remake of Gaiden, because obviously they couldn't do it there. But yeah, it looks nice. I'm assuming it'll be really funny if it's at the next Nintendo Direct, because I think that the Muso one is coming out next Friday, and the Direct is after that. So it'd be like, it's out now. Here's the real one.
Yeah, I assume it is. This whole thing is just we don't want to talk about it before we get this other Three Houses one out. We need that to be out.
It could also be like, we're sitting on a bunch of games for something happening in the first quarter of next year.
What could that possibly be? Nothing. What? Who's asking?
Don't worry about it.
We definitely won't see Metroid Prime 4 somewhere in that vicinity, possibly.
These things are impossible to protect.
Lollipop Chainsaw is coming back in some capacity. We have no idea what. They just said it was happening.
That was nice of them.
Yeah, I assume it'd just be a port, but who knows?
I would like a version of that game that ran.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So Activision released their road content map for Overwatch 2 in open beta. Sign up for it. They also released their internal investigation. Activision has completed its investigation into Activision and found that Activision has done nothing wrong.
God.
The Obama giving Obama the Nobel Peace Prize joke has never been more fitting.
It's so bad. Why would you even release this?
It was literally right on top of it. It was so transparently collaborated. It's pathetic. And so we don't end off my segment with something just depressing. Dragon's Dogma 2 got announced.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you, Itsuno.
All we got is like the title card, which makes sense because Capcom has lately really been like, now we're gonna show this game when it's like 8 months out and mostly done.
Yeah, I would really like a port of 1 to the PS4 that was like 60 frames per second.
All they'd have to do is an update, just uncap the frame rate.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Man,
who capped all these frame rates?
Who knows?
John Linneman.
God. To be fair, that's more of a Richard Ledbetter, a cult leader versus Prime Minister.
Fucking Digital Foundry headquarters, and Dan is out there like that "Don't Let Goku In" video.
But yeah, where they didn't have a port announcement, I kind of wish that they just held off and were like, okay, let's show them Dragon's Dogma 2 when we can show them something, because then it'll actually blow people away.
I guess they were like, we're not going to be quite ready in time for the anniversary, but we want to do it on the anniversary. And Itsuno really wanted to pull open his shirt and reveal his jacket and reveal the Dragon's Dogma 2 shirt under it.
Yeah, it's similar to the Resident Evil 2 remake feeling, I guess.
Yep.
We do it.
Yeah, we do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all my news.
I was going to ask you, Dan. There's something missing from this document. I was hoping you would get through it earlier than later.
What's up?
Halo news. You
Halo
wrote
news?
about adding it into our document, and then I don't think it got in.
Bob, did you see what happened with Halo Infinite?
No, I just haven't been looking.
Lucky you.
Oh no!
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
Juneteenth.
This.
They added some celebratory cosmetics for Juneteenth into Halo Infinite. Did you know there's a thing on the back end of the original Bungie engine, which clearly is still powering some of this stuff, where it just fills slots. This is the alleged story. It fills slots with the word bonobo. because that's the name of the backend toolkit.
Okay.
What is that?
A bonobo's a fucking monkey. So somebody forgot to fill out the name for the Juneteenth fucking... I seriously went, this better be a Twitter account making shit up. And then it wasn't. They changed the name 2 more times immediately after people started noticing. They changed it to Freedom, and then they were worried they might get a backlash that way, I bet. So then they just changed it to Juneteenth and then fucking walked away.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Come on, guys. What?
Yeah, I don't know, but as someone who always thought that was a cute name for an animal, this is the most cursed fucking baggage they have attached to this.
Yeah, this is like the perfect storm of nightmare.
And it's like, you could imagine the original person who made those tools in the Bungie engine is also kind of like me, where they're like, it's a funny sounding name for an ape or a monkey or whatever. That's cool.
Right? No,
And then
no
it was
thoughts
like-
for 30 years in the future.
Right. Like fucking that shit probably was in Halo 1, maybe 2. So it's like at bare minimum 17 years into the future. Oh, yeah, that was not great. That was a not great part of this last week. On a scale of the things that happened in the last week, that might be the worst. Also, something that wasn't written in here, Exoprimal.
Oh yeah, they released that gameplay snippet.
Yeah, they just released 15 minutes uncut. So we now know a lot more about the literal structure of that game, okay?
Yeah.
By the way, Bob, you haven't been able to see it because I've been covering it. Let me
Okay.
pop it up over there so you can see. She's running the line. Anyways.
Of course.
So, Exoprimal, they keep describing it as 2 different teams fight dinosaurs in a competition against each other. And you keep having this idea of like, okay, so are they existing in the same space? Are they going to be able to shoot each other? Are you trying to shoot the same dinosaurs? And as it turns out, the first 2, let's say, levels of this match play out where you're in parallel dimensions, basically. And the AI just lets you know the other team got ahead of you. You are ahead of the other team. And occasionally you see flashes of holograms of the enemy team. Then you get to the payload at the third part, and it seems like you could just beat them there early and just start pushing. And whichever team gets their cube to the center while fighting off the dinosaurs wins. But they also show something completely cracked out, wherein, I don't know if it's a specific suit, but it seemed to be an ultimate that occurs in the third part is you possess a Triceratops and start wrecking the enemy team
Yes.
on their end of the map. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. We found out one thing, though. That game has the funniest voice clip in the world, and I need that beta to, 1, let me in, and 2, let me turn down the music and the sound effects, but leave the voice volume up. Because what is the phrase it was saying? It's like deploying raptors.
That are raptors spawned.
Yeah,
Something
just the
like
way
that.
it says it is the funniest shit, and it does it every 10 seconds.
Oh, that's going to be so dangerous with your dinosaur moats.
Yes. No, that absolutely is a hilarious voice clip, and I'm like, that needs to go on the board. Absolutely. But yeah, that game looks really neat. It looks like you could switch your battle armor types mid-match.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go from being the shield guy to more of a sniper to deal with, God, what did they call the sniper dinos?
Something insane.
Yeah, because it's literally like Sniper
Dinosaurus
Raptor.
Rex or something.
That was another one. It was really good because they had, you're fighting off all these raptors, and then you look up on the rooftops and they're fucking dinosaur snipers.
Yes.
And it's really, really good. That game looks really promising. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I hope the content is there. Yeah, there were Neosaurs. That was good too. I hope the content's there. The universe seems fun. The AI announcing all the waves is really funny. Like, they nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tone of it's perfect. I'm very interested in that. I really hope I get into that.
Yeah, hopefully. I think that the beginning part of that's super encouraging, but that part where the payload pushing was 2 actual teams, I'm super worried about. That's what I worried the whole game was going to be.
I'm hoping there are enough modes and variety so that way you can just find something that's better for you,
Right.
instead of needing to do the full hat trick. Because it is a hat trick. Like,
Yeah,
it's literally three pretty different segments.
Like, the first two segments, at least, are in the same zone. The third one literally loads you into a totally new area. It's like, this probably shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, but like at least the second segment, what it demands of you is so different from the first. Because the first, you're like making your way through an area and it's spawning them near you. And then the second is they spawn way too many. Yes. And they're making their way across a bridge and then turning and coming towards you. And that's like, well, you need to start prioritizing this medium to long range. Otherwise, you're screwed. Also, they showed off the sword combat guy. He seemed pretty neat with the cool flippy moves and other...
Yeah, he has this move where he kicks directly upward, which is always fun.
That's good. But yeah, I was happy they released that demo. I really need into that. Let me in. Let me into that network test.
Please.
I guess from here we'll go to Bob. Bob.
All right, I wrote down everything in that Xbox Bethesda event.
Do you want me to just start shooting?
You can if you want. I can go shoot it or you, whichever.
Redfall gameplay.
That looks so much worse than I expected.
I too was expecting something higher end visually and more interesting immediately from a gameplay angle.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't look heavily stylized even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems incredibly like basic. Like they have some abilities and stuff that are not like standard shoot bang, but yeah, I was expecting something a bit more colorful.
It's also like a completely different game from what I expected. Also, I expected another like arcane type thing. I expected something more like Prey, I guess is what I should say.
And I expected
you had
something
the
more
town
like
and you had the
Destiny.
vampire.
I expected somebody to take Hunter's The Reckoning and turn it into a Destiny or Left 4 Dead like, or something in between those two. And it just isn't quite there from a style angle, and the environment seems so much lower rent than I was expecting. Like it literally, I started comparing it to Phasmophobia.
Yeah, no, this is a next-gen only game, and it does not, you would never guess.
No, you would, good lord, no. I would never assume that was a next-gen only. It doesn't really look it. But yeah, I don't know. Moving on. Hollow Knight Silksong is real, don't worry. It's coming out on Game Pass day one.
That's neat. It's weird that like for me it's weird to announce like a value proposition to me as a consumer at a conference like this, in my opinion. Like it's weird to go, not, hey bro, we got this, now you don't have to buy it. It's like strange.
Well, you need
We're in a strange new world.
That's all Game Pass is, though, so that's all we can talk about.
I mean, this is the conference, right? And the conference is them letting you know why they're so good. So you get it on Game Pass, their Game Pass is strong. Like, that's what they're trying to communicate to you. As a person who's excited about Hollow Knight Silksong, I imagine it is really bizarre, because it's like, I was going to buy it anyways, but that's neat.
I'll probably still buy it because I'll play it on PS5.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be out of Game. I'm gonna be out of Game Pass when this comes out anyway. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna pay $15 for a month of Game Pass to play the game that will probably be $20 to $30.
Right.
Yeah. I for people who are interested in Hollow Knight, I feel like I had a somewhat similar but obviously dialed down experience with Stray.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, Stray's coming for free on that PlayStation Plus tier, and I was like, I was planning on paying money for it because it looks neat.
It's got a funny cat on it.
Yeah, it's got a tabby. Why wouldn't I want the tabby video game?
Yeah.
We got High on Life, a first-person shooter from Justin Roiland, which you know because the first 4 seconds you hear, jeez, and it's like, okay,
that's like his. Is he like the modern version of Mr. Bill?
See, I don't know. I was thinking he was the modern version of Bobcat Goldthwait.
A little bit. There is a little bit of that energy, but also it's like something bad happens and he goes, oh, geez, which is like Mr. Bill going, no, oh, no.
That's right, Mr. Bill. We made a new first-person shooter. Let's plug it in. Oh, no. Yeah, basically. The only thing I find interesting about this is somewhere in this resides Mike Stacklasa and Rich Evans.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. We need to identify them. They tweeted it out when the game got announced.
I was like, okay, now there's any reason for me to go in. I don't need a game that's Justin Roiland. I don't.
I want to be able to hit Rich Evans and make him laugh.
I also don't know like what its format is. Is it like an RPG or like a linear or open world?
I think it's just going to be like Imagine Bulletstorm, but instead of being cool, it's about jokes that Justin Roiland is going to say as the gun you play as.
Okay, that seems neat.
It is funny to me that Rich and Mike keep ending up in things, and Jay never ends up in anything.
Yeah, that's strange. I guess his voice isn't as iconic.
I assume he just doesn't want to.
Maybe that.
Probably, I would assume that. There's this note here you wrote, Bob. All games in the showcase will release in the next 12 months.
Yeah, they didn't put it until this part of the conference, so I'm wondering if the games before this are not guaranteed.
Well, High on Life's coming later this year. Silk Song.
When Xbox tweeted Silk Song, they just said 12 months, 12 months, 12 months over and over again.
Okay. We then hit the, are they bringing all of these games from Riot to console? And the answer was no. If you have Game Pass, you get all the Guardians and League of Legends and all the other things and all the other Riot games, and that's it. That's what they announced here. And
you
I
also
thought it
get
was
the
weird.
XP boosts.
Okay.
That's neat. I played Ret Legends of Runeterra for a while and liked that, so if I ever go back, I'll definitely hook them up.
This also covers the League of Legends. What is the mobile one?
Wild Rift?
Yes.
Well, yeah, Wild Rift. They're
This also
supposed
covers
to bring
Wild
that to
Rift.
console at some
They
point.
are, which is what I thought this announcement was gonna be.
That would have been cool,
Yeah.
right?
But yeah. Anyways, that was announced. Plague Tale Requiem.
It looked like Plague Tale Innocence, but
Yeah,
slightly
I still-
higher rent, I guess.
I've seen a lot of footage of both of those games, and I'm like, what are they?
Yeah,
Are they
this is
stealth games? Or
this-
are these RPGs? Are they?
This is the first one that gave me any sense, because it showed a bunch of stealth segments. It showed her sneaking around and then pushing dudes into waves of rats. So I kind of assume it's that.
After that, we got Forza Motorsport. Gameplay was shown. Spring 2023 release date. As I said during the conference, I went back and watched it in a 4K video because I assumed the stream really wasn't selling me on the fidelity.
Right.
And I still wasn't terribly sold on being impressed by the fidelity, even in the 4K video. The most impressive thing it does is that you see cars reflecting off of other cars, and that's, according to them, ray traced. And that's something Gran Turismo 7 doesn't do.
Okay.
It looks fine. I still, just something about their fidelity and their art style and the way it looks just does not remotely hit for me compared to Gran Turismo's fidelity. Like, just, that looks so much higher end to me.
Yeah, it does just have an off look where it doesn't, like, I think the only thing I saw in there was like, whoa, this looks really nice.
Was the damage stuff?
No, actually. When they zoom in on one of the race car engines and it has like duct tubes on it, like they're gold plated, and I'm like, oh, that looks really nice.
Yes.
But then the damage was like, good, they have damage, thank God. Because Gran Turismo doesn't do that.
And that sucks.
But I think that the damage looked kind of plain.
Like,
it seemed just like a generic map of like, it'll go to this model, this is the damage model, and he's saying stuff like every scrape individually happened. It's like, no, that clearly just one thing is all done.
That seemed like total horseshit when he's like, procedurally, each scrape is done individually. And I'm like, yeah, just like it was in Burnout Revenge.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, Peter Molyneux.
But yeah, I don't know. I hope the damage is more dynamic than I currently suspect it to be, because that was very clearly an artist made this pre-made damage model.
Yeah, I mean it
doesn't look dynamic, really.
Right, it's like that entire side of the card just damage. It doesn't even imply that there's the individual damages that could happen to smaller parts of the car. It just felt like very plain.
I'm glad they said it's coming out.
Yes.
I have been so fucking worried that Forza was fucking dead since the year that they launched the Series X. I've been like, please come back. I don't need Forza to fucking die. I've seen enough bodies get buried at Microsoft. I don't need Forza to join them. as a I think the course they showed has been there since Forza 1.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
That's what it looked like. But I'm no Forza head. I have the last Forza they made with a number, because this does not have a number. They took off the number.
Numberless.
Which is still concerning, because I'm worried it's games as a service.
Yeah, probably is.
But I bought 7. I have that lying around. I'm going to give that a chance sometime. Really try to dig into it. We're going to move on. Microsoft Flight Sim. New planes and a Pelican from Halo.
Wow.
Whoa.
Overwatch 2, free to play, like it should have been. PvP early access starts October 4th.
Yeah.
New character hails from Thunderdome.
Yes.
Yes.
Junker Queen.
Yeah.
I was surprised they said it's going to launch, I believe, with 3 new characters.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, there's another mystery one we don't know about yet.
I mean, they certainly spent enough time making Overwatch 2 where it's like 3 characters should have come out for Overwatch in that period of time.
Honestly, like 4.
This really needs to happen. Yeah. Like, God, they need to get this going again, because right now it's like, why'd you just let Overwatch die?
I don't know, but I'm excited for this transition to happen.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ada is what we said as we watched the trailer for Ada History Untold.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Next.
Do I get that free? Do I get that for fucking free with Game Pass? Maybe I'll try it.
I don't know.
I would assume, but who knows?
Because I know nothing about how the Elder Scrolls Online works. Like literally zero.
Dude, all I know is everyone I knew who was really into Skyrim just seemed fucking pissed, which is Skyrim fans. And good luck with the next Elder Scrolls, because I think there's a really... You could easily slip and make a game that is true to Elder Scrolls, but somehow Skyrim bros fucking hate.
Well, don't worry. That's 7 years from now, so it doesn't really matter.
That's
in the immediate.
Yeah.
You remember a few years ago when at a Bethesda E3, they're like, play this online game and one of you will get $1 million or some shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. They've been trying.
Fallout 76, The Pit, is launching in September.
Of all the things, I'm still dumbfounded.
That's like I was like, wow, that's like, no, that isn't the worst Fallout 3 DLC. In fact, it's the second best, because most of Fallout 3's DLC was trash. But still, you should have picked Florida.
Only time Feels ever going to say that sentence.
Yep.
Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels DLC looked awesome.
Yes, it did. I'm tapping back in when this drops.
Unfortunately leaked, but this is coming out in July 19th, so that's awesome.
Okay.
They have a really good track record over there with the Forza Horizon DLCs just being the hypest thing possible.
Like, that looked insane.
Next we have Arc 2.
We got to see Vin Diesel again.
Vin Diesel's like,
okay,
I've missed him.
Come back next year.
And we're like, okay.
You fucking nailed it.
I mean, you can only watch the trailer for Pitch Black enough times where he goes,
"Are you afraid of the dark?"
And I'm just like, that's the coolest fucking sound in the world. I need to make that sound. And then $1,600 of audio equipment later, I finally could.
Yay!
It's crazy in the middle of this show where we see a lot of gameplay. That we see Arc 2, it comes out next year, and we've not seen anything of what that game is.
It's gonna have dinosaurs. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's got Vin Diesel dinosaurs. Scorn!
An atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software.
Exactly.
I'm excited to play that and know what it is.
It's gross looking. That's all we need to know, I guess.
You start the game and they have to rip off your penis because it's too long.
Yes.
I'm going to play that and be like, wow, they should have given Silent Hill to these guys. At least then it would have been a game.
Honestly, yeah. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, launching early 2023. It looks really cool. You get a hatchet and musket. Animal compatriot that looks like that summon from Final Fantasy 15 Carbuncle.
Yeah,
that was in the demo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Looked real cool.
And I didn't know this, but it's being published by a worker co-op. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Nice.
Definitely check that out.
Then Minecraft Legends was announced, which leaked a little bit before this, but technically leaked 3 years before this. It's apparently Pikmin Minecraft. It's like Overlord. It's doing one of those.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I think in that extended Microsoft thing, they have like a giant chunk of it you can go watch. So,
Cool.
go see more of
Nice.
that.
Bob, I don't even... Okay, we'll cover the actual next thing before the thing I don't even remember. Lightyear Frontier. It's a farming game with mechs, so it tricked aggro into being interesting.
Yes, that's what it takes.
This is how we get them. Gunfire Reborn?
This is that game that we watched, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, that actually came out on PC like 3 years ago." It's got like an anime aesthetic, and you play as furries. It looked kind of bad.
Okay. But it's coming to Xbox in October. The Last Case of Benedict Fox. This was pretty cool. 2D gameplay, 3D graphics. Kind of like a platformer sort of game as you try to solve some mysteries in this Cthulhu-powered universe. Because you seem to confer with demons.
You do.
Where it's just like, I can help you solve it. And just like me, when I'm passing out in my bed playing solitaire, because all of a sudden the summer of gaming made me a 50-year-old man, and I went, yeah, I'll play solitaire on my fucking phone if it helps me sleep. Solitaire is Ambient, the card game.
It is.
I'm serious, Bob. I've played a lot of games of solitaire over the last 3 days.
I've noticed. You'd start playing it while I'm driving you home, even.
I was pre-gaming.
Yes.
I'm like, time to pass out in Bob's car. Anyway, the Last Case of Benedict Fox looks really cool. Aggro and I were both very interested.
You were pointing out, yeah.
I was. Absolutely. As Dusk Falls, the Tom Goes to Narrative experience comes out July 19th.
We're so close to going to
Holy
narrative.
fucking shit.
Am I going to have time to watch all of Tom Goes to Mayor before I watch this so I can be peak insufferable?
I hope it's on HBO Max.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
God, there's some episodes of that because it's Tim and Eric where it's just
Terrible.
really, really bad. Yeah.
Just absolutely.
It's just so cringe you want to leave.
Naraka Blade Point is coming to Xbox June 23rd with crossplay. Also, campaigns being added.
That's
exciting.
neat.
What is Naraka Blade Point? You're our Naraka correspondent.
Oh, yeah, that's a battle royale with katanas and other melee weapons, and then you can find in the world like guns too. But it's very much melee focused. It looks neat.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what I played of it. It definitely required higher specs than my PC has. So it coming to consoles is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to play things on affordable hardware.
Yeah, you also have a grappling hook, which is a lot of fun to use.
Ooh.
This next game, Bob misread as Pentaveret. Now, today I've one up this by misreading it even more as Pentium.
Yes, the Pentium, finally.
If I take out my glasses, it reads like Entenmann's, like the fucking snacks.
That is announced for November. This is the low-budget 2D Obsidian story game, which, when we were hearing leaks about it, they were comparing to Disco Elysium with all the choices and things.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one.
Grounded 1.0. You gonna play it, Bob?
Absolutely not.
Never.
You gonna play it, KZ?
Never.
I'm glad it's out so we can stop talking about it at shows.
For anyone who doesn't follow.
They should not update it again and just put them on something else.
Yes, absolutely.
For anyone who doesn't know exactly what this is about, that's the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game, and there are giant fucking scary spiders.
And the arachnophobic mode changed literally nothing.
Yeah, somehow they made it into an orb that's still spider-like and scary. That was a really good giving games a chance for anyone who wants to see that. That did not help at all.
I like seeing chat in real time. Someone going, just put on that mode. Oh, wait. Lamau.
Erebon Shadow Legacy sounds like a fake game.
It does.
Oh, yeah, this is the game that I was super hyped for. You play as like some girl with shadow powers who can dive into shadows.
Why shadow powers and never shadow lightning powers, Bob?
I don't know, man.
Anyway,
maybe that's an upgrade you get later.
You dive into shadows?
Yeah, you dive into shadows to do stealth combat. And looked really cool.
You dive into Shadow, start reviewing music.
No.
Yeah, that looked neat. It was an interesting, like 3D everything but fixed camera, sort of top down, almost isometric. It was interesting.
I don't think so. I'm pretty
You
sure
don't
it was
think
a
so?
third-person camera.
I didn't see the camera rotate from any angle but there, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm thinking of a different
think
game
you-
where you dive into shadows. Shown during Summer Games.
I think
I'm going to
you are.
scream.
Yeah.
I'm
'cause,
going to scream.
Like, that sounds like an
One
indie
moment.
effort sort of thing. This was much more high budget.
I did not. Bob, I am thinking of a different game during the fucking Summer
Yeah, of
Games
course.
Fest that was about diving into shadows.
Yeah,
we're not
stuck
going to
in the
worry about it.
maze.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the Frog Shadow one. Fuck!
Sorry.
Moving on, Diablo 4 Necromancer.
That was cool.
They talked about the open world features. This actually seemed really cool.
Yeah, this is the first time it sounds like Diablo's moving forward since 2.
Yes.
I can't play Diablo 4 until I play Diablo 2.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Sea of Thieves.
What features did they add?
You can
Saving
name
your
your boat.
boat name.
Oh,
That was, man.
That was, that became our frame of reference for insane quality of life update for all of Summer Games Fest.
Yes.
We're just they're gonna announce naming your save file like whenever we would see other games. Ravenlock coming 2023 plays a regular girl in a voxel world.
Yeah, I couldn't
yeah.
remember how to describe this because you're like a kind of normal looking person and then this very strange voxelized world with plants that eat you and stuff.
I'm so pissed about thinking of the Frog Shadow game. Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it had a look.
I hope it's good. It looked kind of neat.
Next, Cocoon. Limbo guy
Yeah.
or person. 2023. Next, Wolong, Fallen Destiny. It's got Team Ninja working on it. Romance of the Three Kingdoms game.
Yeah. It
What
came
was
out.
it? The director of Neo and the producer from what?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they got Lubu in here. It looked pretty cool. And
Yeah,
of course,
it
it's coming to all platforms.
Yeah.
Some people were worried it wasn't. I was like, no, of course it is.
Yeah.
They did. Apparently, this game is going to have a jump and be more like action focused than the Neo games were.
Cool.
Like not more, but like have less of an RPG, like a equipment focus, and more just a straightforward action game.
They're going to focus more on martial arts and stuff for your combat kit in this.
Cool.
Yeah, I had a few things that got into that in Neo, but it'll be neat seeing a whole game around that and having a jump button. Please, everyone needs a jump button now. We're past this. We're past not having a jump button in Souls-likes.
Are you saying we've evolved past the need for not having a jump button?
Yes.
Persona ports. 3 portable, 4 golden, and 5 royale, all coming to Xbox and PC. 3 portable is terribly machine AI upscaled. It looks terrible.
Yes, it does.
Five-
They're also going in like backwards order. So 5's going to come first and then 4, then 3. Like 5's coming out in October something on Xbox. And I assume everywhere else for the ports.
What? And 5 Royals getting a PS5 update. Does that game not run in 4K or something crazy like that?
It doesn't run at 60 right now.
Yeah. So who
that
knows
makes
if it's
more
that or maybe they're getting native 4K or something. But at very least, it should cut the load times like fucking crazy.
Yeah,
And
when
it
this
already cut them a lot going from vanilla to royal, where I was like, whoa, how did I tolerate this?
I'll definitely play because I bought that version at launch and I'm like, I'll have time to play it someday, and then never did. But this update is a good excuse to do that, I guess.
Yeah, PS4 is also getting P3 portable and Persona 4 Golden.
Yes.
Right? Nice.
And yeah, I hope they got the 60 because it was so disheartening going from previews of Persona 5 that were at 60 to the game being at 30.
Yeah,
it's like that Crash trilogy did that same shit too.
Mm-hmm. It'd be nice if that Crash trilogy got some sort of next gen update, but no, that will never happen. now we get to the really important news. Do we cover Starfield first or the other thing first?
I would cover the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kojima announces cloud game, which could be real, says Bob.
I've seen like really weird cope about this, and not from like PlayStation fanboys, from Xbox fanboys who were like, "No, he's just lying. It's going to be a normal game. He's not going to make a weird experimental cloud thing. He actually means the Death Stranding mechanics and shit like that." And I'm like, why would you think that? This is Kojima. Of course it's going to be some weird cloud game.
It's going to be Chapter 3 of MGS5.
That's really bizarre that they're having this thing. Because I'm listening to Jeff Gerstmann on the Jeff Gerstmann Show. Great name. Stick with it. And he's talking about, I expect it to be like Death Stranding, but have more online mechanics. And I'm like, that's really weird. Why would he say that? So to come here and then hear Phil saying crazy Xbox fans expect that, I'm like, okay, I could see how crazy Xbox fans would get there, right?
Right, because they need to jump through every hoop imaginable.
And Gerstmann is extremely irritated by Sony ponies who are Kojima fans who feel betrayed and get angry that there's an Xbox game. Like he really went off on that during that podcast.
That's
like really.
I kind of see where they're coming from because it feels like Sony helped them make that studio.
Right.
So I get it, but of course that's not a healthy way to think.
Yeah,
right.
It's still
yeah.
tribalism nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, the only rational reason to get upset is that you won't have access to this if you don't buy an Xbox. Here's the thing. That implies this will be good. And the details we know so far is that it's a cloud game.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it sounds like if it's a cloud game, you don't even need an Xbox. You can do that on whatever can do the Xbox Cloud.
That's true. Just buy a Samsung TV.
Yeah.
Just buy a whole fucking TV.
Okay.
I was like, isn't there a PC beta for that at least?
I don't know. I don't like streaming, so I didn't look into what all can do it. But a last gen Xbox could even stream it,
right? Yeah, no.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, like, what I expect, knowing Kojima and knowing the direction his games have turned over time, having just made the chronological order Metal Gear Solid month games list. We start with 5 origin stories. Anyways, seeing that person's career, you can pretty clearly know, especially with all the things they've said ever, of like, I would like to make a game where when you die, it deletes the game and you have to rebuy it in order to play it ever again.
Yeah, he is also one who wanted to be able to email you.
Yes. There is, of course, going to be a very quirky game behind this. That's the only reason you make it cloud-based. It's not like, because like to some extent you can consider what Death Stranding already does is technically in the cloud. It is technically done on a server.
Yes.
It is technically what would qualify as that. But the benefit here is you could have a bunch of localized hardware that you stream the game from that could do really crazy stuff. You know, the stuff Stadia was talking about of 100 people in a match or way more because all of the hardware is local and you don't have the internet buffer when it comes to all sorts of game mechanics. That would be what I would expect. Not, here's Death Stranding 2.
Right.
Not, here's a third-person horror shooter. I feel like he's going to take something and make something really unique there. And hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's great.
I was hoping that he would show us what it was at all.
I assume the Kojima we're getting this time is Ambition Kojima cross Boktai Kojima.
Oh no.
So I'm looking forward to this. I people need to calm the fuck down. There's a chance they'll look at this once it's actually shown and be like, "Oh, this fucking sucks. Why was I upset?"
Yes.
Let's move on from that though. I turned to Bob the other day. We're both tired. Summer Games Fest is beating the hell out of us. And as we're mostly quietly riding over to his house in the morning, I go, if you told me 6 years ago that the number one point of comparison for the next giant Bethesda game was No Man's Sky, and that they should be concerned at all, I would have told you, fuck you, get out of my house, where's my gun?
You own a gun?
And yet, no. And yet, here we are. They show off Starfield, and it really is a Bethesda game. And it really is in space. And it really does make me look at it and go, I'm starting to think about No Man's Sky, but it's not that big of a deal. Until they go, there are thousands of planets. And I'm like, okay. I feel like I don't trust Bethesda to make really compelling thousands of planets or really interesting biomes for that many.
Yeah, I think it was 8,000.
8,000. I thought there was an S at the end of 1,000, but
and in that like an interview thing, they said some of this shit will be procedurally generated.
that it has to be.
Right, of course,
Yeah.
when you're doing 1,000.
I want to sit here and be like, well, the thing that makes it distinctly different from No Man's Sky is that they're making a normal ass game. It's just an ambitious thing, like, you know, you would expect a Mass Effect or something else, like big Fallout, Skyrim.
There'll be a story.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I have weird expectations of what like good gameplay in this setting would be for that. And then they show Bethesda shooting, and the cool gameplay segment is you follow this blatant nature trail down from the what appears to be a predetermined landing point, but according to them, they said, what was the phrasing? You can land anywhere or something? They implied that said that? That doesn't make sense with this nature. So you get on the nature trail, and then you see the animals that are at the side of the nature trail, and they do the canned E3 moment of, I look at you cutely, and then move along. And then you walk all the way down this, and you get to a weird, bland warehouse with 5 guys seemingly randomly placed in it who just look at you, go, and shoot at you. And then you Bethesda games shoot back at them. And I'm like, oh. Now, for the completely different perspective, hopefully, hey, Phil, what neurons fired in your brain during this presentation?
Well, nothing in this presentation.
You should have gone to me.
But I got really excited when they announced later that the protagonist wouldn't have a voice.
Yeah, it's really good that is the thing that gets people excited for this game.
Because it's tied to so many horrible things in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
That I'm like, now I can have any faith you're walking any of this back. And it's like, yeah, this all looks the spaceship stuff fire neurons, because that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the other stuff is like mostly stuff that the Outer Worlds did, which I already played. So this is like a bigger and nicer, because the Outer Worlds is kind of a budget title. Not budget, but it's obviously not on the scale of a Bethesda game.
Right.
But the ship stuff was new, and going, oh, thank God. And a lot of people have told me, no, they fixed tons of shit that everybody hated in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. And I'm like, it's not in a game I'll ever play, so I couldn't know. How could I have known?
Yeah, of course.
A game that not only will I not play, it requires you to play like 60 hours of bad content to get to the fixed stuff.
Yep.
It's an online game?
It's a survival horror. It's a survival craftema persistent world shit with a campaign. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ship stuff was the coolest stuff.
Oh yeah, they even showed customizing the ship. I was like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah. They showed building your shelters, your bases, your frontiers.
It makes way more sense here than it did in Fallout 4.
Yeah, it fucking does. Like, obviously, I would like a place to sleep on this planet if I'm going to keep going there.
Yeah.
I'm still just really concerned this game is, like, based on what we saw, I'm really concerned about what is behind the curtain. Like, if that's how it looks when it's presented really well,
Uh-huh.
I'm really worried, so. But outer space looked cool. KZ, did you have thoughts?
One, I was actually shocked they had any level of space combat at all. That kind of blew my mind a little bit. I felt the same way when I played that Guardians of the Galaxy game, where I'm like, oh, I'm moving this ship and shooting things. This is a little nuts. They showed like the different factions and stuff that you're gonna meet, and I realized that I would like another one of those types of RPGs, because despite the Outer Worlds also having it, I feel like this one won't try to do a stand-up special at me like 60% of the time when I'm talking to the people. So that'll be a nice mix. I'm not gonna get the prime like New Vegas experience, I imagine, of investing in stealth so that I can crouch down while someone's directly looking at me and they're like, they can't see you. You can now pick their lock. Like, I'm not expecting that, but I'm excited to like explore and see what the story is. They can't write anything worse than Fallout 4 because I keep thinking about it like every 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, I have tweeted about that shit, and I'm like, yeah, man, this sucks. Fallout 4
Yeah,
is so bad.
I have intermittently thought about Kellogg, that fucking character in Fallout 4, like every month. And a lot of people were like, Theo, they do explain it. It's 8 contrivances piled onto each other. And I'm like,
It's so fucking stupid.
So something that some people pointed out after this breakdown was like, a lot of people were like, wow, that looked really polished for a Bethesda game. And somebody pointed out a lot of those NPCs and city tracking shots had their heads on backwards.
Come on.
Oh my
Like
god!
like when they showed the city at like a distance and like NPCs walking around, some of them had their heads on backward.
That's
You gotta be
unreal.
kidding me. This is Mass Effect Andromeda's backwards gun, only magnified 1,000.
That's amazing. Well, that's it for the Xbox showcase.
Yeah, it was alright.
It was all right. It was a mildly bright star in a week of terrible tragedies where we gave out 6 Fs each.
Yeah.
Different conferences. It was not a good E3.
No.
I was feeling generous on my Fs.
Let's go to KZ for news. KZ.
All right, first up, this dropped, I believe, in the Future Game Show or something like that. Deadly Premonition 2 escapes the Switch and is out now on PC. My friend Alto immediately bought it and played it because they love Deadly Premonition and said, the frame rate runs great, but when you get on the skateboard, you get to places too fast, so the game has to load.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I assume Alto's playing it off of a CD-ROM. That's the only reason that should happen in 2022.
I don't know. I think they're just quirky over there when they made this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's it for that piece of news. We got Star Ocean 6 news that may in fact be coming in late June. They said this at the very end of last month. And then this week, it got rated in Taiwan. So they may in fact drop a release date for Star Ocean 6 because it was slated for this year when they showed it last year.
Cool.
Yeah, that could be good.
Do people think this is the internal bar of quality or the third-party bar of quality for Square?
Third
I
party.
feel like if they're, I
Middle.
don't know. I think middle, because I don't think they'd even bother to do this if they were going to drop some shit that was just like
Rancid.
Yeah.
rancid.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's absolutely the middle bar.
I
there.
assume it will be fine on PS5 and terrible
Yes.
on PS4.
It's like the poor people that played Tales of Zestiria on PS3. And I got one other piece of news, and that was the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary stream that happened at the exact same time as the Dragon's Dogma one, and we're both almost the exact same length.
That's so absurd.
Yeah, what is wrong with them? It's already bad enough that they're doing these mini events outside of the show that just finished happening. Why are they at the same exact time?
It is really bizarre that we didn't get these in any of the other days.
Yeah,
that already
Capcom
happened.
had a perfect slot for it.
Yeah, Capcom definitely should have announced that at the Capcom showcase because Dragon's Dogma is not a huge fandom.
No.
I don't know what they were thinking there.
Yeah.
I think
got-
if the Final Fantasy VII stuff showed up at the Summer Game Fest itself, it would have been the show.
Yeah, no, I think that would have been a really hype moment for a Jeff Keighley show.
Yeah,
Like, that would boost that thing up a lot.
I think they would both help each other personally. But
Yeah.
yeah, they both decided to do anniversary streams 2 days
Yeah, it's like that's so close to the anniversary. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the exact day or not. Like,
No,
it's in a week.
there's no way those two have the same. No,
Yeah.
no way.
They just wanted to.
Ended up.
Yeah,
on
they
the
wanted
same
to
day.
do their own separate thing.
It is really the there being this Square Enix thing is kind of weird to me, because I'm kind of surprised they just didn't stick that stuff in, like that Sony Direct that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was
Right.
That would have
interesting.
blown everybody's dick off.
I
Right.
thought, honestly, up until now, I assumed the reason we hadn't heard more is because Sony had a stranglehold on the marketing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
no,
I don't know. I liked what I saw, and I don't care that deeply about the positioning of it. Really, it's like how the Kingdom Hearts anniversary event just happened like in April.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Square
Yeah,
Enix,
all this
Square
stuff-
Enix does seem to like actually revealing things on anniversaries, unlike every other company in the entire industry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like the most anti-hype thing to me. Like, if that stuff showed up in something, it'd be way more exciting than just, oh, this dropped. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't hit.
yeah. Like I'm with you. Because I think of like 2015 when they announced 7 Remake.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was the year of dreams and stuff. But I'm not
Yeah.
super broken up that they're like, we're just gonna do our own thing.
Yeah.
But we got the news. They first opened up on the thing that appeared on the Steam store 5 minutes before the stream started. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Escapes Epic Games is coming to Steam. I guess in 4 hours or 12 hours from now, something like that.
Was it
Yeah.
was on some was it the PC Game Show stream where we talked about this very thing? It's like, did that
Yeah.
shit ever get off Epic?
Right?
Nope.
Yeah, we
And-
literally
and-
talked about that.
We were close. They also talked up immediately afterward. Like Hitachi's like, "Do you know about the Steam Deck? We're making it also for the Steam Deck. Like we're
You
making sure
know,
it works for it."
I'd like to believe that's a playable version, but I know what verified for Steam Deck means. That thing probably runs at 10 frames a second. They're like, it's verified.
I also
didn't
know
crash.
how the Epic port of this went, where it was very uneven compared to Kingdom Hearts 3's Epic port.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
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 Next up, we got Final Fantasy. Actually, we got various figures and other merch. So they just show Play Arts Kai figures, weird bangles with materia in them, all that kind of stuff that you expect from a Japanese anniversary event.
Yeah.
Yeah, they burned through that pretty quickly. Then moved on to Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. That's the Battle Royale on mobile. Getting a Season 3 trailer. It's going to be showing off the Machinist style, a new map, which is above the plate. New materia, and they showed a face-off between like a robot and a dude on a hoverboard that shot rockets out of the front and started blowing shit up on a highway. That looked neat, but it's on mobile, so my interest is very low. Even Poinpy can't pierce my brain enough.
I'm just sitting here and I'm like, do I even do the check? Do I go?
Is this playable on MacBook?
Right.
You've given up. It's over.
I'm going to do it live. One moment.
Okay.
You can move on.
Oh, okay. Next up, we got to see Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which people didn't see that before. It's their mobile game with gacha elements that seeks to recreate every piece of Final Fantasy VII media in game form. They showed snippets from original FF7, Crisis Core, Gact was spotted, various stuff like that. They're doing a closed beta later this year for both iOS and Android. And that's basically it for that. Like, it showed like static backgrounds and like gameplay of running around, and I'm like, yeah, this is like accurate for like that old PlayStation 1 look, but with like higher fidelity models and stuff for combat.
Yeah, it has an interesting looking style.
Yes, neat.
Yeah, characters have different costumes, so they like showed Cloud doing cross slash in like Bushido gear and stuff like that. Aerith had a princess costume. So I can see how they're going to be able to like monetize that.
As expected, no. It is not playable on the MacBook. No one wants to
That's
allow it.
unfortunate.
It's okay. It's a battle royale. You probably don't want to play it anyway.
On a controller on a proper screen, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
This next one I was hearing murmurings about yesterday, but I didn't know how likely it would be. And then we got to see it. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion announced. This is almost a remake of the PSP original. coming to all major platforms this winter.
Yeah, it's clearly a fucking huge glow up. Like, this is seemingly using the 7 remake engine.
What they did was I've been looking at comparison shots where it's like a lot of the same animations, but they put in like higher FF7 remake looking models. Seems like the voice cast of the current stuff is in.
Yeah, which is weird because they were keeping that stuff separate before.
I guess they're done.
I remember it was like, I guess they're just like, no, we're just entirely switching over. Which R.I.P. Superman Sephiroth. I kind of liked that one.
And now we have other Superman Sephiroth.
Oh, that's right, we do because of the CW.
They went from DC Animated Universe Superman to CW one. But we got that fully voiced. The UI and environments are way, way different, much higher rent.
They're not just boxes decorated as alleys and things.
Yeah, we got our newly arranged music, various skip features, improved character and camera control.
The combat looks faithful, but certainly better than the original.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hope there's ways to
they also gave it like a Kingdom Hearts type shortcut menu for your spells and stuff.
That was huge.
Very helpful.
Because before the combat in that was you had like a bunch of a sidebar with a bunch of different icons to do your various materia or other attacks. So having like a shortcut menu is going to actually make it a bit more fluid. I hope they do something to that, to the random battle like frequency, because it was weird because I think they made it based on like spots on the map, and toward the end it just felt a little too high for me. So I'm hoping that they update that a little bit. It's coming out this winter. I'm pretty excited because that's one of the funniest games in that entire compilation.
I have to wonder if they're going to use this as a chance to yet again change how this ends.
So do you think you're theorizing that it won't even be Crisis Cores?
Right, because Crisis Core is already different from Final Fantasy VII. So
yeah,
I have to wonder.
I guess they wanted to link more into, the remake project stuff, so I could see them making adjustments to keep that layered in. Maybe some special ending movie or something.
Yeah, the special ending movie is he's going to open a box and like 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo happens and all the ghosts come out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I assume what they'll do is they'll be like, okay, here's, because there's like Turks and stuff that aren't in Final Fantasy VII. Like there's characters. I assume it'd be like, okay, we're establishing them to show up in the second part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there might be some I bet there'll be like a secret movie ending that ties into the end of Remake Part 1, but I don't think they're going to change what happens in the end of that game because it's too iconic.
Mm.
Yeah, just seeing it look so close to what they're doing with Remake from a visual standpoint, but a couple of steps down made me go, yeah, this is stuff they consider like important going forward.
I'm really going to need them to redesign Dr. Hollander.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to need him to not look like this. I'm going to need him not to look like that, but in 4K. That will cause a lot of problems if we have to deal with fucking spoony experiment Dr. Hojo.
What's the issue? I don't see the problem.
He's gets like more funny as it goes on.
He's like an evil super scientist who's like, Crisis Core is really funny because it's like, well, we have a role that would obviously be Hojo, but we can't have him be in it because he has to be in Final Fantasy VII. So we'll make a new guy, and he's gonna look like look like he reviews bad movies on Channel Awesome.
It's really funny that he's just incredibly shitty Hojo.
I can't believe you like Highlander 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was so weird even back then.
Just this guy?
Yeah, this guy.
I don't know.
This guy is so funny. His run cycle is hilarious.
I'm actually pretty torn with the announcement of this because I'm pretty hyped for the remake of Crisis Core.
Yeah.
But now I'm incredibly torn on, wait, which one do I play? Fuck.
That's fair.
Because I was planning I was planning on playing the original soon.
Yeah.
Just to know.
Yeah.
and this may be like incredibly like hyper close aside from maybe some cutscene stuff they'll do near the end.
Yeah,
like
everything seems 1-to-1 basically. That they've shown.
Even the lines they did, like Angeal's talking to Zach in this, and it's the exact same lines.
That's crazy.
I wonder if the CG parts will be like re-rendered versions, or they'll fully remake those CGs. Because there's a ton of CGs.
I assume they'll
adjust
do it in
them.
UE4.
They did adjust them because they show that CG scene of Zach fighting all of the Shinra soldiers, and they made his Buster Sword look like the one from Remake, because the one in Advent Children and Crisis Core has like this gold trim to it.
Okay.
They're at least going back and changing stuff. They need to make that one fight scene so good that I'm assuming
that fight scene on the Junin canon, if that shit look in like modern Square Enix fidelity is gonna make me lose it.
It might be one of their best like fight scene things they've done. It's really good.
I'm really impressed by this just coming out of nowhere, honestly. Like a full remake of Crisis Core, I would expect a larger announcement because it's the end of this year.
Yeah, it's winter of this year.
That's cool. That's cool.
And then they of course close with their final announcement of the event. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been announced. It is coming next winter. And it is a next gen only because of course this is part 2 of the confirmed the remake trilogy, because of the end Katase said it's 3 games. They showed some footage of Cloud and Sephiroth on like that Nibelheim mission, which will likely start this game. And they show like pretty big areas, like the compass is like this thing's 1,000 meters away. And that seems pretty exciting. I'd like the text that said, "What is Sephiroth planning?"
Yeah, it was funny because it came after what Sephiroth is planning. I kind of lost it because it's like, he's going to do this and get his birthright. And they're like, what is he doing? And it's just like, I just fucking... What is he cooking? What he doing?
Yeah. What is he going? What's he gonna do? What's real? What's fake?
Does he know?
Yep. They
Will he say it?
I really like that they apologized because people had to wait 3 years between part 1 and part 2, which I love when people say that because that implies you want to get shit done fast. Nomura said himself and a chunk of the staff are already working on stuff for part 3, so they're stepping on the gas. Thank you, Unreal Engine. I owe you my life.
Yeah, this is the one where they really had to like reinvent everything, because that first game is not a basis you can use for what Final Fantasy VII becomes after Midgar.
Right.
It really isn't.
I'm so glad that this is next gen only. I'm so glad we won't have to deal with any more fucking squeeze throughs.
I sure hope so. I hope
there's no reason, unless they just think those are good for some reason. But in 7, they were very obviously
there were
to hide loads.
So many in 7. I think that they think that part of them are good.
No, considering that Dan broke the shit just by running, I don't think they think that. I think it's like, please God mercy.
Yeah, because that city really struggled.
That city is obviously the one that's like, of course that shouldn't be
the breaking point.
But I worry the other parts where it's like trying to be more 7th gen games.
I feel like you can do a couple of those. I'm not going to cry at the screen if 5 seconds gone as I slip through rubble. Like that's the mood to me.
What I expect is a lot of walk and talk, not necessarily squeezers.
Yeah,
like because squeezers are literally
the only thing they showed us was walk and talk,
right? And that gives them opportunities to have a lot of dialogue. Some of them okay, others not. I wasn't in love with the early one in Midgar as Cloud and Sephiroth's infecting your brain. It was really slow in plotting. The other ones was perfectly fine with. Like those
I just don't want shit like. You want to go to the area where you do the quests for the kids from the orphanage, go through a really long, obnoxious squeeze through every time you want to go to that area.
That was the one map that was inconceivable in that game, where it's like, here's the town, split by a squeeze through. And I'm like, what is this, the Berlin Berlin Wall.
Yes.
like if it's a squeeze through as part of a set piece, whatever. But I'm sure that there will not be repeated squeeze throughs that you have to transition through multiple times.
Yeah, that's what I expect. I expect not to have a town map divided by a squeeze through. I expect maybe occasionally in big moments like, oh, there's like all this rubble like crawls through that. I expect a lot of walk and talk because, you know, as you just said, that is what we saw. And they do a lot of that in the first game. But I am really interested. I'm going to be honest. I kind of expect this to be also similar to the first, a hyperlinear AAA experience and not open.
Yeah, that is the worry.
I think they could still make a good game while doing that. I think it will just be a very different game, of course, which it already is.
Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
something entirely different. I do wonder if, I mean, fans were along for the ride for literally anything they did in the last one, so I guess they may be okay with them turning it into a hyperlinear game.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, the footage, what little bit we saw has like a compass, like a Skyrim compass at the top.
I'm pretty sure the first game has the compass that lets you know where the shit is.
But it has one like 1,000 meters.
Yeah, that's like a decent amount of distance, and I'm sure they want to go wider with it. I'm sure it'll still be a focused linear experience, but
yeah, I assume it'll be scaled up, and it'll be like that Nibelheim section will be like there's the town, and then there's like a decent sized area around it, and that will be like around each town.
Yeah, I'm not expecting massive open world, but I'm not expecting narrow corridors with grass on it.
I expect it to be segmented like an MMO almost, even where it's like those are clearly different zones. They have they have like stuff in them, but it's not entirely seamless. I don't think it'll be entirely seamless.
I think they'll do a better job of integrating a town hub thing and the rest of the game, which will help a lot because it is really weird that you get like these different towns throughout the game, and they like the second you leave them, you're just you left them. The plot continues forward. You're just gone.
Yeah, that would be the main hope of trying to feel like more like you're playing a Final Fantasy game by going going in and out of towns and doing as you please, like any sort of freeformness like that, instead of being so locked in one direction, chapter.
Thinking about Final Fantasy VII, a thing it does a lot is like there's a chunk of the world map with a town on it. Then you have to go through a linear dungeon to get to the next chunk of the world map with a town in it, because you leave Midgar and you have what the hell is it? I don't remember the town's name right outside. Yeah, Calm. And then you have that area with the Chocobo Farm and the Midgar Zolom and everything. Then you go through the mine, and then you're in a different chunk of the map where Junon and the Phoenix Fort are. Then you go across the boat, and you have a little chunk of the world map with Costa del Sol, and you have to go through the train tracks to get to the next chunk. So it's already kind of split up that way, and I could see them doing that again with this.
Yeah.
I'm like the news today, I'm positive just because they're already working on part 3. Part 2 is coming out at the end of next year. That's good. That feels like confidence that helps me believe things going forward are good.
It's not going to be it's not going to obviously be shaking the hardware to pieces like it shook the PS4 to pieces. And I played on the PS4 Pro. I can't imagine how it was for Dan.
It was a fucking nightmare. Me and Tifa love staring at this fucking door.
Yeah, I didn't really have the worry that they would even do the PS4 again, because they did integrate, and that's only PS5.
That is true.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm really
it's
excited.
It's funny that they still haven't announced an Xbox version of the.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's hilarious.
I assume that Sony just went and says no.
That's so much money. That is so much fuck you money.
Yeah, clearly. Just this, they threw money for this as well as 16, because that's also PS5.
I mean, maybe it's money. We don't know. Like I think I even suggested this on a stream before. They could have been like, you go exclusive with us, we give you access to our production pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And all those studios we have to make assets for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Sony built insane infrastructure last gen, so that could really be valuable.
Right, yeah. Especially with the common engine, yeah.
they put out a lot of statements and stuff immediately after this announcement, and one of them said that they were really impressed at how their restructuring went a while back, to where they're just getting everything done way faster than they ever have in terms of development.
It just really makes me nostalgic for the days of Final Fantasy 13. You know, it was great when they just decided that was the only Final Fantasy and all games were that.
So it's blowing my mind that this is that 9th gen could be another gen where we get like 3 mainline Final Fantasy games.
Well, if you count 7 Remake, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I think we could see. I think we could see 17 by the end too.
I would hope.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, even as they were doing the lead up to Remake, they're like, this is a mainline title. This is a massive AAA video game that we're making.
Yeah.
And they are somehow going to drop 2 of those within 12 months of each other next year. Where it's like summer is FF16, then within the next 12 months.
Oh, that's what you mean. I was like, they didn't announce a date for Rebirth, or for the one after Rebirth, did they? It's like
no.
Like if they got
it's absurd where it's just like sometime in summer 16 comes out and sometime before March Rebirth comes out.
Yeah.
That's really
I'm excited.
Great.
I'm really excited. We had some news come in during that segment.
We did.
They're making a new Trigun anime.
Oh, that was leaking a week ago. That's interesting.
Yeah, I really hope it's Maximum because we never got that half of the story animated.
Yeah, that was.
I don't actually know the relation. I don't actually know exactly how it goes. I know that Maximum starts halfway through the first Trigun anime.
Yeah, there's an entirely different ending to Trigun, the anime, in the manga. Like, it just ends in a completely different way that's absolutely nothing like the other. And goes off in a wild direction.
Yeah, we're looking at a 3D animation. It's from Orange.
Yeah, they did Land of the Lustrous and Beastars.
Okay, at least I watched Land of the Lustrous, and that's pretty nice looking.
Everything I've seen out of Beastars seemed fine. Yeah, seemed good.
Yeah, it stinks that it's not Madhouse again, just doing something incredible with 2D. But
oh yeah,
they better get Johnny Young Bosch again.
I know that last week when it leaked, Johnny was like, "I'm down for it." It's like hopefully they'll just look real bad if they don't get him.
This is one of those pass-fail assignment things. Getting Johnny Young Bosch to be Vash the Stampeding, letting me kick guys in Resident Evil 4. Those are both pass-fail scenarios.
That's true. Yes.
God, Madhouse is so good with so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been watching through Kaiji, which is in fact done by Madhouse, so it looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see him go all wobbly when he gets owned.
Yes, I've never seen a main character cry as often as Kaiji does. Pretty good.
Well, that's it for news. We're free.
Nice. All right, that was a short one.
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
3 hours 40.
Wow, that's shorter than I expected. Where we covered a bunch of stuff for Summer Gaming. I did my psychotic breakdown of everything at Team Neckfest.
They need to not do that the same week as the Summer of Gaming.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play Resident Evil 2 tomorrow. Resident Evil 2 is like this warm feeling for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I am so hyped to see all the other angles of it because I feel bad. I'm like, I didn't even play Shu as
Claire.
Yeah. I almost called her Julia. Oh my god! What?
Yeah, the Tekken character, right?
Okay.
Who is Beta Claire? Because I remember her name for a while instead.
Are you talking about Rebecca?
No. Because Rebecca Chambers is like her own character.
Yeah, right.
There was a person in Beta Resident Evil 2.
I don't know. Oh, Eliza Walker.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I forgot about Eliza Walker.
You know, Dan, I completely forgot a piece of news. All that Resident Evil 8 DLC. Where they're, They're doing the thing with Rose Winters, like entering inside the parasite, and it's a third-person thing. It's becoming a third-person game. Yeah. Mercenaries gets Heisenberg and Lady Dimitrescu and Chris Redfield.
And then also VR for people who want, for some reason, to see Resident Evil 8 in VR.
Yeah, VR2, I think, is what they specifically said for that. And Reverse, and that's all dropping on like October something?
Yeah, October something. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
hype.
October something for the Gold Edition.
Yeah, that third person update is immense. I'm excited to play through the game again with that because that changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a very different experience.
I'm very interested in how they will present cutscenes and stuff.
Mhm.
Like how they'll present like bringing you into either the first person part again, or
Yeah.
if they had to redo a shit ton of it, because they clearly had to do it for animation. So I'm really interested in that. And if you spin the camera, will it always like spin in the other direction so you don't see his face?
Yeah, I bet that it goes to first person for things like watching your hand get cut off.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
knows?
A lot
'cause
more
that's-
impactful that way. But
What
we'll
a
see.
good, what a good scene.
I'm so excited, dude. Man.
Yeah, I loved Village, despite it being a first-person thing, which I don't think is ideal. I felt like I won the lottery when they just showed him jumping around in the factory in third person.
Yeah.
I was talking to Dan the other day about, man, it's weird that Resident Evil 8 has a werewolf on the cover, and that didn't mean anything. Like, there's no werewolves that's even important in that game.
Well, there's one.
Yeah, there's just basic enemies.
Yeah, there's random enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, yo, we got lichens.
Yeah.
But there you go. I'm pretty sure that's everything now. But I saw people in chat, I went, oh shit.
Yeah, we all forgot to write it down. That is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, because I always felt Resident Evil 7 made sense in first person, and Resident Evil 8, like the tone and the gameplay and so many things changed enough where I didn't feel like it made sense anymore. So for them to take it third person, that has done so much
Just add
repair to that game in my esteem.
add in the features from either 3 so you can dodge, or 4 so you can kick guys in the face.
Ethan Winters has had enough of you, you big bootied bitch.
This is fucking Matrix dodges.
Yes. Why'd they change all of her moves to just hitting with her butt?
That's so weird. They were getting ready for VR. But yeah, no, that's super exciting. Weirdly enough, what's up?
I don't know if they showed any of this area in that trailer, but I feel like even in third person mode, when you go in the creepy house, they'll just force you into first person. Because I'm trying to fathom that section being third person and having like any effect at all.
I don't know. It's still scary sometimes in Resident Evil.
Yeah. I think that could still be really creepy.
Yeah.
In VR, like then you get your slider,
in
right?
VR, I would in VR if I died in that section, I would cry.
Yeah, you get the slider. You get third person, not as scary. First person, very scary. VR, way too scary. Absolutely too much. But yeah. Anyway, obviously this only makes sense for the live people. Oh, I guess you could listen to this. It's supposed to go up the next day. We're doing Resident Evil 2, all the endings. I'm very excited for that. That's on my list of Resident Evil things to chop down. Weirdly enough, I've never beaten 3 original. So as much as I love 3 remake, I'm told it's terrible and that I should play the original to see what we lost. We have to go back, people say every time I say I enjoyed 3 remake. So I am interested. Someday, maybe. Aside from that, I don't really have anything to talk about other than I'm really glad the summer of gaming's over. I hope a car materializes.
Yeah.
Because this is getting ridiculous.
Yep. Absolutely.
Aside from that, that's it for us. KZ, what are you up to?
If you're listening to this live, I'm going to be tomorrow doing a stream where I play through all of Ape Escape 1 because that hit on PS5. And after that, I'm going to see who in my crew is still around, and we're going to play the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. Because apparently the online is very good and has crossplay between at least Xbox and PC.
Nice.
So I'm going to get a crew and check that out. As well, we're running a goal in which I play both Toy Story games the following week. The SNES Nightmare Original and the 3D platformer that is on PS5. I mean, I guess it makes sense. The Buzz Lightyear movie is coming out tomorrow.
I forgot that was coming out.
I didn't know it was so close, yeah.
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 I did not expect it that soon. Wow.
So I guess the timing ended up being all right.
Quick question, because of comments I've heard somewhere, and I haven't gotten confirmation. Is that Game Pass?
Yes, TMNT is Game Pass. So
okay, somebody said it was the perfect Game Pass game, and bile built up in the back of my throat.
And one, no, it is not the perfect Game Pass game. Sixes are the perfect Game Pass game based on the many games media people have told me.
Yeah, that game looks incredible.
It's so weird how it's like this game seems kind of bad and didn't perform well. Should have been on Game Pass.
But that's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, excited for that. That's all I got planned in the near future.
Okay. Mr. Feel.
I might try to stream The Secret of Monkey Island at some point next week because I want to do something small before I go out of town.
That's good.
Fair.
And that was my first PC game.
Ooh.
I had to go into fucking DOS and type the C/run/whatever to get it to come up.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember most of the puzzles. So I'm very excited to hopefully get through that because it's not very long when you know the solutions to the puzzles. I'll also try the Anniversary Edition, which has the voice acting and the graphics that I think are worse. And there's some way to use the old graphics with the voices. If you do some bullshit, maybe I'll look into how to do that, or maybe I'll just suffer through the graphics that aren't as neat as the sprite work.
Man, that's a good first PC game.
Yeah.
Mine were Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Mega Man on DOS, and Exargon, a game people look at me and go, What do you mean Jill of the Jungle's a ripoff of that? Jill of the Jungle's the original thing. And I'm like, shut up. No.
God, I'm trying to remember if I can even think of my first PC game. One of them is Castle of Wind.
Okay.
But I can't remember what else.
Okay. Well,
I got my stuff way too late. I'm thinking Heroes of Might and Magic 2 that I got from a Goodwill, and various licensed small things like Stuart Little 2 on PC. And the McDonald's Treasure Planet game.
well, that's going to do it for Big Think this week. Thank you for listening. And then I'm going to do a thing I forgot to do in prior episodes.
Nice.
No, I need Act 2. Act 2, you motherfucker. I need Act 2.
Oh, wasn't good enough. I understand.
No, Act 1 is the incorrect act for this.
Thank you very much for watching this episode of Big Think Dimension. It was only possible thanks to your support over on patreon.com/gbpodcast. Be sure to head over there to get lots of exclusive content and other things. Like the movie Isolation 119, a thing you should genuinely watch if you signed up for a Patreon, because damn, what the hell is that about? That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.